Howdy, folks, and welcome to Adventures in Alberon, our 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons campaign. I'm Joe Treff, your Dungeon Master for the evening, and I just swallowed a little menthol cough thing just in the wrong way.
Fisherman's
I am
friend.
joined... Yes, I know. This is my fisherman's foe tonight. I am joined, as always, by my friends Matt, Miles, Allie, and Tina. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the 70th session that we've had on Twitch, which is super crazy to think about. One of the things that we will be starting to do, Matt, I don't know if you know this. This is a random statistic. I know that's the 4th episode in a row that you've done that little dance, and it's
Really?
relevant. It's relevant for reasons. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But
I didn't even know that about myself.
there you go. Anyways, this is the 70th session since we've begun streaming us on Twitch, which is super crazy. One of the things that we're going to be doing is launching some of the old episodes. We're going to do like a little title screen, and once we have that ready, we're going to start uploading about 1 to 3 episodes a week, depending on kind of workload. But it goes all the way back to when we were playing in person. I was like looking through some of that stuff today, which is like super fun to think about, but that was like 2 years ago. That's like some of that stuff is super long ago. But that's one of the things that's going to be coming up. And then a couple of our announcements before we get started. You can find us on Instagram at Alberon RPG, also some other social media stuff, but Instagram is where a lot of the maps and handouts and things like that go up after, or usually sometime during the week after the session. So we do post some pictures and kind of overview kind of things, but there's usually a little bit more detail and some of the background to elements that have been created, like the map of Calypsos and stuff like that. So that's at Alberon RPG on Instagram. And then finally on our website, the website's updated the story until now, the entire recap of this 25-month-long adventure is up on alberonrpg.com. Additionally, the Dungeoneer's Guide to Dominion has finally been updated. It is through 55 pages. It goes into the area to the east of where you all were in 1000 Gates, called the Somber Coast. It talks a little bit about the Goliath and some of the stuff that Akka knows a little bit about. And then it just starts to go into the Idlewilds as it slowly creeps towards the Sunward Coast, Port Quinn, all that kind of stuff that you guys are very familiar with. But that is all up, and it will always be free, but it's on alberonrpg.com. And the final thing is for sound effects, music, all that kind of stuff. We are using Sirenscape, which is a digital tool set that you could use to bring real-life bug combat to any event that you want, if for whatever reason you're into that kind of thing. But Sirenscape, check that out. And with that, that is the end of our announcements. And so we can get right back into our recap. So I'll just restart our theme because it was already playing it. Right? Man, what a great song. Finger Gang. When last we played, you arrived in the dark basement that is the restricted section in the Lorebinder Academy, in a room surrounded by small documents on various fiends and foes of the realm. You were quickly collected by Restorer Karen, who brought you back, the very excitable Restorer Karen, who brought you back to Lorebinder Boron. Boron laid out for you the summation of all of the research that he had completed in the roughly 30 or so days since you'd left, which included some powerful revelations and confirmations of things that you already knew. Amongst these facts were a map of the demiplanar prison Calypsos, along with a scribe's notes on several of them: the Sword of Aethys, the Portent, and the Burning Bastion. He retrieved for you, mostly Heinrich, a tale of Omen, a tiefling warlock in the service of Azra that aided a group of heroes in thwarting the machinations of Tisada, the Queen of the Mists. He was sent in the service of Azra to steal an artifact of the Zinyi, which you all deduced was likely the Breaker, which now lay shattered in Yorn. You found some information on the Helm of the Voidcaller and deduced it was likely how Azra was communicating to the others. Akka, you received a note with instructions from Mr. Gift giving you the go-ahead to communicate or to continue with this group. Further, it indicated that Elrich, a another member of the collective was pursuing an artifact known as the Forage Key, somewhere in Colteron, something that the group of you knew a little bit about. You received a few further gifts from Boron, including some health potions and a few other things. You were given the resources of the Academy to do some research. You used this time to research reincarnation, the Frostline, and the Ald. You also got snacks. You rested, Morwen with her Guntir poster, and Shay in a bed like a normal person. Akka in his own room, and Heinrich spent much of the night learning, a little bit more Elvish. Now with a complete set of the Elvish for the common man. After a simple breakfast and sending a message to Krodok to have him retrieve the pieces of the breaker, the rest of you headed to Smuggler's Dug, utilizing the teleportation spell of one Carranza Billows, a transmuter who agreed to bring you there with a little bit of convincing from Boron. With the help of your tiny cat doll, Morwen, that the child from Smuggler's Dug had given you, you all traveled without issue. There you reunited with Lorara, the fur-bold with wild orange hair. You presented Gunter's finger and asked that she reincarnate him. She pulled the town, already motivated by their high regard for your entire group, together, and you reincarnated Guntir as a blue grung. Guntir, after you freaked out and were subsequently polymorphed by Carranza Billows into a pygmy boar, the group of you had him slumber in the stables of an elderly woman who offered you a place to stay during the first visit to this little town. Guntir, you dreamed as a grung polymorphed into a pig that was originally a dwarf, of being a dwarf once more. And a gentle storm that seemed to suggest with the warm drops that fell upon your old dwarven skin that perhaps not all was lost, but for the moment, you are all within Smuggler's Dug. It is right around 9 o'clock. It is Sunday, if that matters to you all. Guntir, you are currently asleep, sleeping the soft sleep of a traumatized mind, having just come from the very bowels of hell. But for the rest of you who are still awake, what would you like to do?
Well, I'm just gonna be in the pen with Guntir, pig, frog, dwarf thing. And I hope that throughout the night, if people are coming by and like, oh, are you cool? I'll be like, oh, I could take some water, maybe a meal, you know?
Without any trouble, just given your guys' general sort of place within this town, you saved it from a pair of wyverns that had been kind of plaguing it for some time without issue. People come in and check fairly regularly. The old woman comes and asks a few times. Yeah, no problem. You can have water.
And food.
Make a persuasion check. So I'm just getting some stuff together here.
You're gonna stab me? Whoops. Sorry, I got another. Whoops. I'm sorry, it's a 21. Can you get that?
Are you asking for food for Guntir or for you? Or for both?
I mean, for both. Okay. It doesn't have to be fancy, but I'm just like, yeah, if you got anything. Kinda hungry.
What does Guntir eat?
I'm sure this thing is too.
You point. This is the old woman who owns this place. You point across this little stable yard, and you can see kind of in the hay, at one point this pig laid out, but now a blue toad-like creature. Worth noting, still naked, unclad. The pygmy dwarf sort of boar form now having shifted. Really wrinkly looking grung. Heinrich, you had seen a grung not that long ago within those poison willow trees. The skin was taut. It looked almost like a poison dart frog that had grown much larger and gained a little bit of sentience. This looks like a deflated Kermit the Frog.
Like a raisin.
Yeah, it's like somebody stretched a raisin to 3 feet long, but really didn't give it a whole lot of weight. The skin kind of hangs away from the bones a little bit, and as it snores. And actually, to that point, Morwen, as you're kind of looking over at him, gesturing, there is a faint resemblance to the way that Guntir did used to snore. The pitch is a little different, and there is a rubbery quality to the lips as they move in the snoring motion. But aside from that, very similar. This woman brings you back without any problems. I'm going to say a little bit of bread, some somewhat stale cheese, and you could see at first something kind of comes out, and then she looks over and remembers that he was a pig, and you see like a little bit of bacon just kind of go behind her back. But
if I see that, I'm just going to be like,
okay, and she just passes it over to you. Turns around, heads back. You see the lights in this house kind of go out. She has gone to sleep. But Morwen, you there in the pen with Guntir. Heinrich, Shay, what are you guys doing?
Kind of standing outside and peeking in every once in a while, just in absolute disbelief at this frog thing that just came out of a stump in the ground that's named apparently Guntir.
Sure.
Having seen his head been removed from his body, and then this, and I've literally never seen anything like it, so I don't really know what to make of it, and I keep checking Shay's face to see if she can make anything of it.
Shay is more looking out around the town than about Guntir, and probably once things settle and people start going to sleep, she's gonna make her way off to the place she slept while we were here before.
Okay. So some time goes by. You watch. Shay doesn't have a lot of reactions to many things. There is a stoicism to being a monk, especially a Zinni monk, and Shay kind of a serious individual in general. But you watch. She kind of walks off towards this wooden watchtower kind of structure off towards where the path that goes to the center of town leads to the edge of the dug, which you guys passed through, the Druids Grove sort of magical, illusionary dome-like structure. It looks like trees from the outside, but from the inside, you can see the arcane energy shift slightly in the dark. It is warm here, so for those of you, I'm assuming that you removed your cold weather gear, because otherwise it is like 68 degrees, give or take.
Yeah, I took the ring off.
Yeah.
Morwen, every now and then you see Heinrich's antlers kind of poke around the corner, and Heinrich looks in, looking at the body of Guntir that shifts around every now and then. At the beginning of the night, you see Guntir sleep fairly peacefully. There are moments where you swear, and it's hard. You're adjusting to this toad-like face. You can almost see like hints of a smile, but as the night passes and goes on, you can see a fitful sleep take over. There are moments where it seems almost as if this grung is trying to yell in its sleep. But that's what tends to occur throughout the night with him. Does anybody want to do anything before the day passes? Or we go into the next day?
I'll probably not tire of looking at this creature, but realize that there's nothing to be gained right now, and kind of just go off and find a place to sit. Learn some more Elvish, why not? And then, maybe go outside of the perimeter just to like reacclimate myself with the area, since it's been a minute since we were here.
Sure. So you take a little time. You can add 3 hours of Elvish onto your
39.
You're trying to get that certification.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for that magic number.
Yeah, exactly. And all of a sudden, wait, I can speak this language. Yeah, so you spend some time reading through the second volume of Elvish for the Common Man. And after a couple hours go by and you feel your ability to retain information start to slip, you stand up and walk through the town, much darker. Here and there, lanterns are lit, but most of the light comes from this magic sheen on this dome overhead. You can see the stars, but they're muffled, as if you're looking at them through almost like dirty glass. But it's not like a dirty looking sky. It's almost as if the smudges on this are tinged with greens, almost like a canopy.
Mm-hmm.
You make your way to the tree line, and you can see from this side the almost shadow of the tree image on the other, but very easy to see it, almost like a curtain that you can step through. Mm-hmm. You can see elements. It's almost like a fogged out version of what's on the other side. You see tiny bits of snow falling, and it reminds you that it is quite cold.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to have the ring back on right before I go out. I'm not just going to step outside. Okay. The majority of our travels have been in the north. I'd assume all of these precautions are second nature at this point.
You slide the ring on, just walk out into the cold. The wind hits you, and you could feel the temperature shift. It's not uncomfortable to you. But there you stand now. Whereas before, there were all these kind of pines and animals and things of that nature. All of a sudden, there is snow coating these very, very small pine trees. The lack of any kind of real summer or spring over the past several years definitely has caused some of them to dwarf down. And you're realizing that the Smuggler's Dug area itself, all of the vegetation there is just much more overgrown than the stuff around it. But seems to be fairly quiet.
Okay. I'll do a nod sweep. I'll just send Nod out to see what's going on.
Sure.
If there's any Yetis or anything.
Any Yetis out there? Yeah, make a perception check with Nod. You let this owl off and soar into the night sky through the snowy elements above.
Much better. 22.
Okay. You lose sight of Nod very quickly, but as you close your eyes and open Nod's, the forest kind of just sweeps around you. You can see going off to the northeast a little ways, the elements of woods kind of trail. This forest is shaped almost as if it has like 3 arms, and Smuggler's Dug, like one that goes up the left side of the mountain, one that goes up the right, and one that kind of trails down. You said 21?
22.
22.
If it makes a difference.
It doesn't. Okay. Yeah. You can see a few things. There is wildlife in this area, more so than a lot of other parts of the north. You can see parts of the trees where the snow has been disturbed, and you would imagine the birds that are still able to kind of live a very active life within the grove itself. Probably do just traverse outside, strike into trees and then fuck this, head right back. You can see elements of things that have been disturbed around it. And it's interesting to note, it seems as if the wild things of this place, you see like a deer walk close to the tree line, kind of turn and then just pass right through. It seems like beasts are able to see through this sort of deception or illusion. You see a few deer. You see this high up on the mountain a fair number of sort of yak-like creatures, although larger than you would imagine a yak to be. You hear this very loud music. But nothing especially ominous. Taking a larger pass, you can see, I would say with the 22, not that it makes a huge difference, there is this weird kind of echo off into the north. You barely hear it, and it's really more that within this psychic connection to Not, you feel uneasy all of a sudden, and you recognize that there has been a shift. But as you fly through the wind, you don't hear it again, and it's one of those things where you almost aren't certain if it was real.
Okay. I mean, can't send her too far away from me, so I'll just note that. Did I get a view of... I don't remember if we're super far from Cultram from here, because I know that we used Tree Stride or whatever it was to get there last time from here.
So you are across a valley. The mountain to the west of you is the one in which Cultram is on.
Okay.
No. Yeah, Mount Tram.
Yep. Okay. So I got like a general sense of where we are in relation to it from here.
Yeah, certainly. So so depending on how you want to travel, if you're going to Cultram, you know that the tree thing works pretty well, and you could do that again. If you were to just travel by foot, you would go down, and you can see an area where the forest that you were in kind of goes down, almost crawling over the edge of the mountain and going down small plateaus on the side. It would be treacherous, but you could certainly descend that way and then find your way up Mount Taram. You know somebody who probably supply you with rides.
Right. Yeah, true. Okay, that's it. Just wanted to refamiliarize myself with the area, given that it's been a little bit, not a long time.
So in game, you have not been to Smuggler's Dug in 31 days.
Yeah. And then the general region in like a week. So.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. So.
Back in I go. Satisfied.
Anything else you want to do?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, and
the hours.
I'm sure that I like doze off. I'm not going to try to stay awake.
Yeah. No, I assumed kind of
okay.
that.
I'm not just like.
Yes. So, for the first night in a long time, the poster of Guntir stays in your pack, and you watch Guntir until you fall asleep. Guntir, you awake first because you went to sleep first. Right around probably close to 4 in the morning, consciousness suddenly finds you. And you feel the panic on the edge of your mind, this dream that had just been there, but it's gone.
Oh.
You turn, you look over, maybe 3 feet away, you can see this black tabaxi in a red coat. Morwen, just kind of laying there. It looks as if she fell asleep just watching you. You can see, not at all. You can see elements of bread and cheese, a little bit of bacon, just kind of around Morwen.
I think I would very cautiously go and try to eat some of this bacon and cheese. And do I eat that now still, or do I eat flies and weird things?
You cautiously approach the food. You smell it. It smells good. You take a bite. It tastes good. Only time will tell.
Does he have to gum it, or does he have teeth?
You have teeth.
Oh.
Oh, that's a first.
Yeah.
You have more teeth than you have in a very long time. You might even have 5 or 6.
Little nubby teeth.
Yeah.
Little.
Yeah, they're definitely nubby. They're designed for like crushing bugs and stuff like that.
So I probably do need to eat bugs.
That's what they're designed for. I mean, you're not a grung necessarily. I mean, you know what? You should do what you really want to do.
Probably like cautiously eat it and then I think I would just kind of sit.
So, given the sort of series of events, Shay, you wake up next. Right around 5:36 in the morning, you can see the elements of a gray dawn outside this dome begin to appear. And as the beginnings of the morning sun come up, you can see it hit the dome just right to cast almost like this faint shimmering green across the ground. It's very pretty. You come to in this watchtower elevated above the rest of Smuggler's Dug. You can see pretty much everything. From your vantage point, you cannot see into the stables. It's going to turn the other direction, but what would you like to do?
Going to stay here for a little bit. Probably end up doing some more intensive exercises and stretches than I have in recent days.
Okay. You take some time to tune your body a little bit more. It's been some time since you've had to really fight something. Best be prepared. Heinrich, at a certain point, I would assume you would go back to where the rest of the group is, Sanche.
Yeah.
So you can see, you would see, Morwen wake up right around the same time as you notice this little grung hand slowly reach from, you can't see all the way into the stable, you just see the door. You see Morwen sleeping, you see the food around her, then you see this little blue hand reach out and just pull some food away.
I'll knock on the frame of the door.
Grunter, you hear.
Come in.
Oh, I guess I'm awake now, and I'm gonna be
You
a little
are.
startled at the frog, because I'm just like, oh, sorry, I forgot. Yesterday was a long day.
I'll come in too, yeah. I'll walk in and just be like,
Jesus.
morning, morning.
Tongue twister.
Uh,
Morwen.
Hi.
I
This is gonna be such a hard session.
So
I don't know how to call. Are you? Yeah. Hello. How are you?
he's not a stranger. Act normal.
But are you? Is it Guntir?
Who?
Guntir?
Oh.
This
I'm
guy.
Glub.
Glove?
Yes.
I'm gonna pull out the poster.
You
I'm gonna
see,
where it says
That's
the
a nice
gazelle. I'm
picture.
gonna be like Guntir.
so Grunter, for what it's worth, this poster out. A little stained. You see, it looks as if somebody over the course of several nights has drifted like a little bit of water and then a little bit more. Kind of strange, but you can see it reads on the top of the gazelle. The list of crimes is quite long, and the individual you've seen in glimpses of your dreams, these nightmares that you've had. This is Gunter, and you know that Gunter's dead.
That's a nice picture.
Yeah, I thought so too. That's why I kept it.
Yeah, really
Right.
scary.
Okay.
I guess at one point, you know, you can be scary.
Look at all those crimes. That's pretty. Ooh,
Okay.
looks like one bad dude.
Okay. Glove.
Oh no, he's
said.
from Fargo too.
I know. I'm trying really.
Oh boy.
Or like Bubbles.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man.
Okay. Glub. Glub of the Stump, I think, is a good title.
That's kind of catchy.
Do you know where you are?
Well, looks like a pigsty.
Okay, sure. Do you know how you got here?
I imagine I walked.
No, I did it. Me.
Oh, well, thanks for walking for me.
No.
What's the last thing you remember?
Well, I went to bed and I had a pretty bad dream, and then I woke up and here I am.
Okay, and before that, what did you do yesterday?
Oh, you know, it's hard to remember.
Imagine
Okay.
if you were just like, oh, it's
Probably
just
not
burning in
very,
the fiery pits
very
of
much
hell.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Sure. Okay. Hey Morwen, you wanna there's something cool over do you wanna come outside for a sec?
No.
Can you come outside for a sec?
Oh.
I'm gonna message, be like, we need to talk. Just like
Okay. I'll come outside.
Hey, don't
Okay.
mind me. I'll just pick at some of these scraps here.
Okay, don't move.
I'm just joking.
The two of you.
Wonderful.
Wow, this is going to be. So
Wonderful.
just as an aside, everybody else watching, every time that we play, Matt does this thing where he talks at me as we kind of come into the show, so that he messes up when I read something. But he's never really been successful. This is by far way harder.
This is the most
than that.
effective measure that he's ever taken against you.
It's been like 2 years in this campaign, and this is killing me.
Okay. All right. So Morwen and I are outside. Just gonna walk a little bit away, and I'm just like looking back over my shoulder to make sure this Glove
just-
character isn't.
I'm just sitting there and I'm like,
Just right in the doorway. Yeah,
I'm just-
love it.
I'm like, Morwen, hold on, please.
Why? This is so exciting.
Yeah, but he doesn't. I don't think that's Guntir. I think that's just a creature that came out of a stump that used the
What's the
finger
difference?
as material to manifest? I don't know. I don't understand it at all. Should we?
Well, I heard him last night. He was making Guntir noises.
With the way he sounds, I find that very hard to believe.
I know, it sounded different, but they were Guntir noises, you know?
I'll take your word for it. You guys often were bunk buddies. I think we should check with Laurara to make sure that she didn't mess up, though.
Well, I know that that was his finger.
Well
Who
yeah.
else could it have been?
Hopefully not a random stranger from wherever you got that finger. A pile of
he's
corpses, just a random
he's
finger.
He's just confused. He hasn't been a frog.
Okay.
Grung, right?
Grung, yes.
Okay. He hasn't been a grung before.
Sure, and I haven't been anything other than myself, but I can't.
Ah,
I don't know how these things work. I'm gonna find Laurara and figure
See,
this
I
out.
can't do this kind of thing
Okay.
before. It's okay.
Okay.
Smuggler's Deck is not a
What do you
large
mean
town.
by that? Okay, I'm not gonna push further into that one. All right, I'll go find Laurara.
You go and find Laurara. She, you could just call her Laura.
I know. I just like the extra raras.
She is currently outside of her house. I mean, it's a small enough town. You've been through it before.
Yeah.
You can see this sort of L-shaped hut with a rounded sort of element in the middle. And outside of it is Laurara. You can see the orange hair outside of the sort of almost the exact same leather armor that she always wears. The shirt changes every now and then, but she's pretty earthy. But you can see she's walking past her door and reaching up. She is almost like 6'5", 6'6". Reaching up, she taps these small blue flowers, and each time that she does, the spray of maybe like a pollen or something kind of puffs out and falls into this little bowl that she's holding. But she sees you and she smiles and waves. Oh, hi, Heinrich.
Good morning.
I'll follow. Sorry.
Oh, I thought
Okay.
you were gonna go back. Okay.
I've got like an eye on, like, keep checking to make sure he's not, I don't know,
Wandering
popping
off. Good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. Is everything okay, Heinrich? You sound kind of strange.
But
I'm doing good.
That's great. I'm overall good as well. Well as well. I don't know what I gotta ask. The frog thing. How did what you did yesterday work? How does that work? I don't understand it. He doesn't
Oh.
seem to be Guntir.
Well, how these things work is not really something that I think so much about, but this is a power that I can channel. It's through Malara that it works, and I can't remember. I don't remember where he is, but Akka, your friend, he said that
Right.
it meant you. This prayer that I say, it's entreating Malara to fill a new vessel with a soul if it's willing to come back. And it seems like Hunter's was.
Right. Okay.
Is there any chance that wasn't him?
Well, you gave me the piece, so if it was the wrong finger, I guess. I'll be honest, I don't know what Gunter's finger looks like, so I can't tell you if it was right.
Yeah. Okay. Soul, mind, body. Okay. No, that's helpful. Thank you. I guess I'm just confused because I don't know what I was expecting, honestly.
Well,
at all. I don't
she's
know.
like still holding this bowl, and she kind of gestures. Do you want to come in? I was about to
Sure,
have tea.
Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry.
And she walks and leads into the familiar space. You can see the sort of grow plot off to the right in this sunlit area in the room. You can see her bed, which is really just kind of a hammock with some fronds put across it. And you can see the sort of large dirt-filled table now growing little sprouts. But goes over to a little workbench and sets the bowl down. You can see takes out this steaming container of water, pours 3 cups of it, and then sprinkles in little elements of this kind of pollen that she had just harvested into each one. You can see instantly, despite the fact that it's very, very soft yellow, as soon as it hits, the entire cup becomes almost an amber. And the smell immediately hits you. It is like this intense sort of herbal honey that you can kind of smell in the air. But she passes a cup to each of you, these sort of mismatched wooden cups. So I understand it can be shocking seeing how somebody comes back. It's usually in a different form, and I know that you were probably hoping that Gunter's was, well, a little bit less froggy, maybe.
I mean,
No, I think it's hilarious.
thinking about it, I guess if his soul wanted to come back, then we did him a solid, so that's good, right?
Yes, well, about that. So usually when a soul wants to come back, there's like unfinished business or um, something that would prompt that. The afterlife is supposed to be restful. It's sort of the end, right? But perhaps whatever Gunter did in his former life made his afterlife a little less restful. And if that's the case, it might be hard for his mind to really connect what's happened. So
That makes sense.
Yeah, so how do we fix it? Do we just, I heard that when people have amnesia, sometimes when they get hit in the head, their memory comes back. So should we just bonk them really hard in the head?
I
I don't know what
recommend
amnesia
that.
is.
don't
And I wouldn't
recommend
recommend hitting anybody in the head either.
Alright,
Let
well,
me
it's an
look at
option.
Verara's spells, actually, because now I'm thinking about it. Well, it really depends on the nature of what's going on. If it's some kind of an illness, there are spells that will work to dispel it, of course. And um, if it's something more spiritually inclined, like um, Gunter was religious, right? I seem to remember he had some kind of divine ability.
Yeah, I don't
You
think he
could
was aware of
say
it, though.
that.
I think the
Well,
way that he interacted with whoever was helping him was. I'm not even sure.
He knew a few gods.
well, I think we all know some of them through the evidence that they leave in our everyday world.
I'm
But
gonna look around like, okay, crazy.
make a perception check.
Am I gonna find God in here? Okay.
Morwen's about to find
In
religion.
the corner, like,
Shouldn't it be a
Friggin'
religion
try.
check?
Yo, what's up? I'm Cord.
He's just sitting miniaturized on like a wooden beam. What's
Um,
up?
I have to math. 19.
hey, Morwen.
19. Okay. Yeah. You look around, and there are things here that are quite strange. I mean, you can see, first of all, within this interior space, there is a plethora of plant life growing. There is no direct sun. However, you can see these complex things, kind of ferns, flowers. There are fruit bearing trees, although very small. Um, up to you whether it's a religious thing or not, but she professes to work or channel Melora, and there is direct evidence here. I mean, you also watched her bring Gunter back to life.
I've seen Heinrich do it too.
Fair enough, and Gunter.
Right. But okay. I mean, if that's it. I mean, as long as you just didn't summon a creature and now we're going to bring him along needlessly, dangerously, if at all, but
Heinrich, you seem to find danger a lot. So I don't
yeah.
know if bringing him along will ever be safe, but I think it is Gunter. And if you do want to restore him more to his original form, there are things you can do. I don't really know so much about how you would find people who could do those things, or
Well, what is it? What would help?
well, you could just simply, well, simple, of course, is not really how it is, but
Sure.
I've heard that there are creatures that can grant you wishes. And such a creature perhaps could just simply turn Gunter back to his earthy form.
I'm sorry, those are real? They're not just kids' stories?
Well, I mean, everything's a kid's story. The Feywild is talked about as if
Yeah.
it's some magical place, but I
No,
know
you're
creatures that have
right.
been.
That's true. And there have been stories that my mom read to me as a kid that, I've kind of walked through in real life at this point, killing dragons and stuff.
Well, a wyvern isn't really a dragon, but
No,
kind scale, yes.
kind scale. Yeah, exactly. That's more the one I was mentioning. Well, okay, sure. What creature would we seek to do that?
Well, again, I've heard of things like creatures called djinns, and they're able to do it, but they need to be usually fairly powerful, and they don't really spend time in this plane. So I don't
I'm just
really
gonna
know how
sink
much.
a little because
Yeah.
don't gens have a? I have a bad history with those guys.
Yeah. But if you can't find them, there are, I've heard of items that have the very wishes trapped inside their being. Perhaps something like that. Or, there are many things that could perhaps restore Gunter to a little bit more of what he's used to.
Okay. I'll keep an eye out for that. Gins. Okay. No, thank you. Useful information. This tea, really good, by the way. Really
Thank you. It's not technically tea. That's a little bit of a misconception, I guess. But to make people understand that pollen can taste like this, it's weird. If you tell people things that they don't want to believe, they just won't.
Yeah.
She takes a sip of the tea.
That's true too, but that also gave me some inspiration. Thank you, Laurara. If you need any
Anytime.
help with anything while we're here today, I also think I have something I may need to ask of you later, but that's later after I talk with everyone.
Well, come find me later then if there's things that you need from me. I'm always happy to help. You saved our community, and we'll do whatever we can for you, of course. If you're looking for things to do, there's no shortage of things that we could use help with, of course. These are dangerous times.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I'm gonna go find Shay and maybe get this Glub, I think he called himself.
You see for a moment she closes her eyes and she smiles. Nothing really changes about her body language, but Morwen, as you look around and are kind of trying to look at all these strange plants, you see for a moment the various vines shift, the flowers bloom ever so slightly brighter. You can see elements of these little sprouts in the ground shift as if a little wind passes through. Shay, from your perspective, where you are, you suddenly hear in the wind this pick up through the trees. You see um, elements of the leaves kind of fall to the ground, and back where you are, you can see Laura open her eyes. Heinrich, she's in the watchtower.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And she takes another sip.
All right, I'll just down mine and then put the cup back and go outside and walk towards the watchtower.
Sure, put it down.
I'm going to the frog.
Okay, you return to Grunter. Grunter, what are you doing in the meantime? There's a brief period of time, about 10 minutes, that you're left unattended.
I think I'd probably still like. I'm in a pigsty, right?
It's a stable, but it's not unlike a pigsty. There's just kind of rushes thrown down. There is a door that leads to the interior that Gunter has been inside. There is sort of just this pathway that leads to the town center on the out.
I probably would have like nibbled a little more on the floor food, and then gotten up and like knocked on the door. Like,
okay.
Hello, excuse me.
So you go up to this door. From your like visual perspective, the knob is at eye height.
Yeah,
so you reach up, you knock. You hear the shifting of furniture inside. You hear some kind of groaning, and then the door opens inward, and you can see this little old woman kind of just bundled up in these elements of like fur, almost like a bathrobe kind of. Yes. Oh my.
Hi ho.
Hi.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you for letting me stay here, and I think I'll be on my way now.
Well, you were a little pig when you came in, but this is nice too.
I left some leftovers, so I didn't eat all of it.
Oh, okay. Well, if you need anything, come back. Your friends are always welcome here.
Oh, thank you.
She nods. She kind of closes the door. You see her looking behind, like at this sort of sprawled out breakfast that has been poked around into the sty or to these stables, and the door shuts. Where are you going?
I'm going to go out the stable entrance, I guess.
Okay.
Like
Shay, well, what point are you returning to the stable?
I'm not.
Okay, no worries. So, Grunter, what are you doing? You go outside, you can see Smuggler's Dug, this small town kind of laid out before you. The small wooden huts and the people going about doing their daily business with this green grass and very spring-like atmosphere, considering you've been in the winter for some time.
Well, I guess I'd start making my way back to the swamp.
Sure. And what direction are you going in to go to the swamp?
Which way looks like it's the way towards the swamp?
Make a survival check.
Does every grung have a DM inner monologue?
Most of them. Survival?
Yes.
19.
19. So, Grunter, you look around, and instantly you recognize none of the sort of signs that you would look at around you are very helpful. This is magically induced, this place. And so you kind of just begin walking, looking for some edge to this illusion that surrounds it. You come to a tree line where you can see it's almost as if there's like a veil across. And you can reach through. You stick one blue hand through, and you feel almost like ice on the other side. Especially considering the fact that you are a amphibian, this hits you, and it is almost painful. You yank back in, and you can see elements of the toxin that coats your hand already beginning to crystallize.
Guess I should go get a coat. I'm gonna go back to the old lady.
Okay.
Probably like go to the front door.
Okay, this time you go around to the other side of the house. You climb the 3 steps, all very small, and you knock on the door. You hear some shuffling on the other side. The door opens up. Yes? Oh, you again.
I hate to be a bother, but I was wondering if you had a coat I could borrow.
Oh, I think you're a little small even for my coats, but let me see what I have. And she turns around, and you can see very slowly shuffles off. The interior leads to a staircase that goes up and then just kind of goes straight back. You can see elements and smell, kitchen smells. And you can actually identify that the same fire that feeds the oven also heats the stable. And so there's some way to pass through between the two. You see she goes off into the single room on the right. You hear some things open and shut. You hear drawers being pulled out and closed. She comes back with what looks like, and it's, I would say even for you, you know that this is not going to cut it, but it's like a nice green sweater, just knit, like Kelly green. She probably made it. She brings it back, and you can see she's moving slow. This is a lot of work for her. She hands it to you. You can see instantly, probably like 3 sizes too big. This is probably the best I could do.
Well, thank you very much. This is certainly better than nothing.
Oh, you're welcome. And she pets you on the head. What is that? Save?
Oh, she's DC 12, right?
Yeah. Okay. Hang on one sec. So as her hand touches your head, you can see suddenly, and you feel the toxin suddenly leach into her skin. You see she gets pale. This old lady, the wrinkles kind of shifting a little bit. Her eyes close a little bit, and she says, oh dear, I think I'm going to be sick. Good luck. And she kind of hobbles in. You can see she goes to shut the door. The door kind of swings open a little bit as she tries to shut it. And you can see now she's holding the back of her pants and going as quickly as she can towards that side room. What's your passive perception, Grunter?
Oh, God.
It's Gunter's, so it's like a 20, was it?
Yeah, she shit herself.
Oh, jeez, I just shit herself.
Thanks for the sweater. Here's your kind return.
Well, I hope you feel better.
And there is no response.
Close the door. Like, oh. And then I'm gonna look down at the sweater, be like, oh.
It's big.
Put it on and try to like roll it up as best I can so that it's like multiple layers.
It looks like you're wearing like swimmies almost, because you have to fold them over so much. And this it's like a knit sweater, so it is fairly stretchy, and you can roll it like that. So you just have these big diesel upper arms for a 3 foot tall, tiny little shriveled up grung. You actually, if you move both arms forward really quick, you almost topple over. in stark contrast, the length of this garment is just below your knees. So it's like you're wearing like a muumuu and then just swimmies, but all the same material.
Beautiful. Oh, I don't think this is gonna cut it.
And it's a little uncomfortable in this temperature, so it's like a little too warm for inside and way too cold for outside.
I think
Anyways, at about this point, Heinrich and Morwen, you come in and you can see kind of standing outside this old woman's house, Guntir, this blue grung, shriveled, hunched, stooped over. He looks just kind of anxious, and he's in the most ridiculously oversized, like Kelly Green sweater that you've ever seen.
He's stealing already.
Hi.
Hi.
Right. You go tend to him. I'm going to find Shay, who I think she said was up on the top of that. And I can see this watchtower, right?
Yeah, you turn. It's the only real tall structure.
Right.
You remember when you guys were trying to plan for this wyvern battle? It was one of the two options that you had to really try to meet it at its own level.
So I'll go over to that.
Okay. Pass through the town.
Shay.
And at about this point, it's probably around 8 o'clock in the morning. Really, people are starting to wake up, and people smile, people wave. You can see little kids go by, and you hear as they do, like, "Oh, that's the finger gang," and just off and into the sides. And you see the little leather ball that you had seen bouncing through the streets the first time reappear. And Smuggler's Dug begins to go about its daily life.
Mm-hmm.
You make your way to this vertically long, tall, they call it. A tall wooden watchtower, almost 30 feet up. You can see from the top, if there was no roof, Shay would be able to jump up and touch the sort of illusion. You don't see Shay, but you would imagine she's there.
I'll send Nod up.
Shay, with your passive perception, you hear the owl kind of take off and suddenly a light on the side. And looking over from whatever you're doing, you see Nod just kind of tilt the head and look at you.
I'll share the expression back and continue what I'm doing.
Okay. You tilt the head back and then push-ups or whatever monkey business it is that you're doing. Heinrich, you closing your eyes and looking through Nods, you can see Shay doing her monkey business.
Okay. I'll just kind of wait until Nod's presence becomes a little more intrusive, and hopefully that'll send the message. Because I don't think how tall is this? Because I could technically message.
About 35 feet. You're right on the edge of being able to kind of telepathically communicate with it. If you're on your feet. Oh, it's 120. Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, I don't even need to see. I just need to know where, and it's the whole 3
no
feet
worries.
wood, 1 foot dirt, whatever that whole breakdown of thickness.
I remember.
So I will point in the general direction and message and be like, "Good morning, Shay."
You hear, and as you do, you can see the owl nod, little barn owl kind of ruffle its feathers, and it gets a little closer to you.
Good morning, Heinrich, and continuing the monkey business.
Okay.
When you're done, would you mind coming down? I feel like we should probably plan what we're going to be doing.
Sure. Where will you be?
Anywhere in the town. I'm sure you can easily spot me.
Very well.
Okay. Yep. Enjoy your stretches, punches, backflips, those things. Okay, bye.
You see Nod the owl suddenly straight up and then turn. As it does, the little tail feathers just brush your nose, Shay, before down. And Nod lands on your shoulder, Heinrich.
Okay. I'll rejoin Morwen and Guntir with whatever they're doing and talking about.
Okay.
Where's Akka? Did he leave? No.
Akka is currently within the old woman's house, and because Matt is still playing both of them until we figure it out.
I'm just curious as to where he is too. Would we have known? I just don't remember from last session.
He's helping the old lady who just pooped herself.
He's inside, so yeah, probably.
Oh, jeez.
Matt, from Akka's perspective, you hear loud noises from within the room in which this old woman's room. There's a chamber pot. You hear hollow sounds at first, and then you hear something wet hit the interior of the stone bowl. It's a bad time.
You should make her an
knock on the door
origami
and be
diaper.
like, "Hey, Granny, you okay in there?"
You hear, I'm not, and just not going great.
Oh, all right. I'm out here if you need anything. Glass of water.
Okay. She's not feeling her best, but she's trying. You would also see sitting with you at the moment, or sitting with Akka at the moment, Karanzabilos, this sort of transmuter. You can see still wearing the high collared, stiff leather shirt with that transmuter stone encased in the center. Having woken up probably roughly the same time as you did.
How's it going?
I mean, you can hear what's going on over there. It's not great, so been better. What are we doing, anyways?
I don't know. Why don't I go check? You got her? You can handle this?
Yeah, I got that.
All right. Good luck.
Okay. Yeah. You can see she just kind of goes back to just like messing around with something in her finger now. But you head out and you can see
leaving the old woman's house.
Yeah, you hear just terrible sounds. But as you leave, you can see the blue form of Guntir in his green sweater, along with Morwen, and approaching from the distance, maybe like 60 feet away, Heinrich.
All right, I'd probably go over towards Morwen because that's not going to be difficult.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Why'd you look at me?
Hey.
Hi.
So are we getting moving now that you got your friend back? Oh, hello.
I mean, I suppose, but he's kind of not all himself for many different reasons. So, I don't know, Guntir, you ready to do something?
Do I arrive there by this time?
Yeah.
Okay. Like Akka, I'll like nod to Akka.
How's it going?
You know, and I'll just kind of like point at Glub, I guess is his name, and not make it obvious. Just like, yeah, it's going. And just kind of like,
not how you expected, huh?
No.
Do you know how to fix this?
Do I?
I mean, you know what spells you have access to. If you want to think about more like, what are you really asking?
Like, would I know a means to fix the wrong body issue that I think is what they're alluding to?
Make a history, survival, or medicine check. Your choice. Each will give you a different result.
History, survival, or medicine?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think I'll go with probably medicine because this seems like a medical issue.
Okay.
That's 17.
Okay, you examine this blue-skinned grung. As you look, I imagine that the grung just says, hello. Exactly. Just kind of waves to you. You see the little finger pads shriveled up. You'd imagine not great for suction. So old is Guntir or Grunter that like they're a little misshapen. You can see this thin layer of toxin coating the frog. Hard to say. I mean, it looks like a grung. It looks like a complete creature. It's not as if there's anything aside from the fact. And you can see, like, the really deep bags somehow under an amphibian's eyes. You've never seen that. Like, it shouldn't even have the capillaries to do that. And yet, this frog looks tired. But there's nothing physically wrong with it. Maybe some arthritis. You see maybe like the start of like the beginnings of like a real bad progression in scoliosis. But aside from that, not a lot that you could do stuff with.
It looks fine to me. Oh, thank you.
More of the memory issue. Look, Glub is it, right?
Oh, yes. Hi.
Sorry, I'm still remembering bad names usually.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm just gonna minor illusion a simulacra of Guntir to the best of my abilities.
Okay. You can see
does this figure look familiar to you? And then just try to,
with no
apply
check, you spent so
a
much time around Guntir. Yeah, you make a little, and you see this illusion flickering, faintly holographic, of this stooped over dwarf. You've seen him in your nightmares.
Oh, sure, that's the guy on the poster and in my nightmares.
in your nightmares.
Oh, well, the one that I had last night.
Right.
I told you about that.
Right.
Nice.
So this is that. Do you find it odd that I could just conjure that up?
A little now that you mention it, but, I've seen a lot of odd things in my life as a grung.
Oh, right. Okay, sure. Go on. Like what?
I saw this, cat woman thing, and, I saw an old lady poop herself, and,
You did what now? I'm sorry. Was this before yesterday?
Oh my God.
Can you name anything that happened before today?
Well, I was born, and,
Where were
I'm
you
sure
born?
there's some stuff in between that I'm a bit hazy on, but,
From off in the house, you can hear, oh my God. And just like you hear footsteps coming over, you can see Karanza Billows appears. She looks, her hair a little frizzled. Yeah, does anybody have anything like turmeric or something like that?
Larara would. She's in that L-shaped house over there.
All right, I'm tagging you in. And she slaps you on the back, Akka, and then just starts rushing off towards Larara's house.
What is going on in there? Is this the old woman
lady's
pooping
sick.
that you said, Glub?
Well, yeah, that's probably her.
Oh, jeez. What happened?
Oh, well, she gave me this nice sweater. It's not very effective for the cold, but,
How does that have anything to do with her?
oh, I don't know. She just pooped right after that. Maybe this guy knows. I don't know. She went and answered the door and then started pooping.
I don't follow any of that, but okay.
That makes complete sense.
I'm gonna go
I understand.
help her out.
Okay, so you see Akka turn the elf disappear into the house. Yeah, and as you go in, your keen senses immediately pick up the smell of bile and other less pleasant things. It's not great. It's one of those things where you open the door.
If I have any magical things.
I remember when we worked at the hospital and you would like open a door and you'd be like, "No, I can't do that. This is housekeeping." It's a similar scene. You see that old woman kind of hugging the chamber pot, which is almost it's been spilled several times. This is like a terrible scene. You're not sure what turmeric is going to do for this, but
okay, I'm gonna use one of my magical tinkerings to. I'm just gonna like tap my cloak and bring it up and have it emit a non-offensive odor for me.
Okay. You grab the cloak, and in a minute or in an instant, you can actually see the threads swirl and these familiar sort of calligraphy-like patterns ripple across. And there's a poof of what does it smell like?
Black ice.
Probably like
Axe body spray.
just like a bouquet of flowers and like just honey and nothing poop related.
You are in it's like when people like it's something terrible happens in a car and somebody sprays a whole bunch of air freshener over it. It's not necessarily better, it's just a different flavor. But it's still pretty bad, but you do that, you hold the cloak over your nose. Meanwhile, while Akka is doing all of this, the rest of you outside except for Shay.
Okay, well, Glub,
So you don't know who we are?
Well, you're the
Your
cat
best
woman.
friend.
Oh, well, that's nice. I like having friends, so that's good. And,
yeah, you don't have many.
Oh, well, some people would say that, a few good friends is better than a lot of not very close friends. So maybe I'm blessed in that regard.
Does Grom? What's your name? What's the name?
Glub.
Glub? Does I forget if you said this last time. Does he have like similar cord tattoo patterns? Did any of that
So,
transfer?
for the very first time, you kind of look over, and it's hard because there's this green sweater on. But, Glub, are you going to pull the sweater down?
Were you trying to see my back?
Yeah, can you please take your sweater off?
It's a little hot in here anyway.
So you watch as he does that and then has to pull the arms for like several seconds to get them all the way out of the sleeves. But eventually they come through, and as the material stretches over and the blue back becomes visible to you, you didn't see it at first because of the color of his back, but measured across the black sort of speckles, you can see the brand of cord that is still across the back, still up the neck, still going down even further than it has previously. You can see the lightning bolt spreading across the rib cage. Certainly there.
So, oh my god, I forgot your name again.
Glub.
Glub. I'm sorry, there's just so many names for you right now. So, how'd you get the, little, cord, design on your back?
You mean like a cord of string? Can you?
No.
I can't reach it.
No, like big, lightning god. You know,
the god Cord, the one that Guntir worships.
wait, how do I... I haven't seen cord.
I know, it was a stretch.
You've never met the god Cord, no?
No, never met, but have I seen?
What?
I'm sure I've seen, like, depictions of cord. Right? We were at, like, the temple. There
We've
must
seen
have been,
sigils, like icons, and that's about it.
The closest thing that you've seen, and very markedly within Captain's Keep, there was not like a sigil or a sign of cord. There was a beautiful stained glass window of a massive storm titan, one of the four that Cord created in the original early days of Alberon, but you've never seen a depiction of Cord.
All right. Well, here's a question. What are your plans, Glub?
Well, I was gonna start heading back to the swamp, but it was a bit chilly out there, so I came back to grab a coat.
Do you know where you are? Do you have any idea how far north you are?
Oh, well, judging by the snow, I guessed it was pretty far out north, but...
Yeah, we're well beyond the kingdom limits at this point.
Oh, which kingdom?
Which one do you
Sarentil,
know?
if you know.
I know, grung country.
What country?
Grung country is where all the grungs are from.
Make a history check.
I think nothing short of a natural 20 will...
No, because Guntir actually knows where the grung country is because he grew up right across the fucking stream from it.
Grungtir knows the grung tree? Sorry, I'm going to be doing it to
It's made it so far.
That's 14.
Yeah, no idea, really. You're sure that there is a grung country out there somewhere?
Yeah, it's south from here.
Yeah, I would advise against that. I would advise against wandering off by yourself through the freezing wilderness, especially with that sweater.
Well, I was gonna go look for a more appropriate jacket, but, I couldn't... She was an old lady, I couldn't not accept the hand-knit sweater.
Sure. Look, Morwen, I'm like assiding to... I'm at a loss.
I don't know, like, talk about stuff. What you're talking about?
Okay.
Talk about Guntir stuff. So you like gambling?
You're better at this than I
I've
am.
never done it.
I don't know about this guy.
Yeah, I'm still not convinced. Look,
Just shout things out of that lake, you'll remember.
that sounds
From
like...
Hilda!
Sounds like your job.
Cord! Peeboo! Morwen!
Are you okay?
I have no idea. So you look to just depart and go straight south right now. You wouldn't want to stick around with us.
Well, I mean, you seem like nice folks, but, I don't know, where are you heading?
Well, I was kind of hoping to confer with another friend who still seems busy at this time on
The
that.
one cleaning up the poop?
No. the one in the tower. I don't know if you can see her from here. And just like look up.
Make a perception check, Grunter, and also Heinrich.
Hey, that's pretty good. Dirty 20.
Nice.
Dirty 20.
That's 12, which is really bad because it was a 2+.
That's a me roll.
Okay, so I mean, Shay, are you still up there?
I am.
I would say Heinrich. You see elements of motion and shadows in the top portion of this tower. You would imagine that Shay's still there. You're not sure. That's a distance, but you think you see her.
Yeah, well, whenever she comes down, I think we should all have a chat about what our next plan is. I wouldn't advise against wandering out into the wilderness around here, even if you knew where you were going.
At this point, you see hustling up the street Karan's Billows, who is holding a curved-looking gourd, dried brown, and has some paint on the outside. But she just kind of like scoots through this little cluster of people past you in the grung. You can see she almost touches you, Gunter, but then looks at your hand and kind of like does a little arch around it. Hey, sorry about that, and just kind of goes and wanders in. From Aka's perspective, she delivers this kind of potion from Lorara. The old lady very weakly drinks it. You can see color almost immediately return to her face. But
thank goodness.
Okay, well, I guess I can stick around for a little bit before I head out.
Yeah, that would be best. And then I'll just message to Morwen and just be like, just keep trying anything. You're the one that was closest with him. And I'm gonna be like, cool, I'm gonna go and check out some stuff to keep me busy and help out this town. We're friends of this village, and gotta keep up good relations.
you can see Karan's reappears. It's like shrimp in the sun. Oh my god. Oh, all right. Do you guys know what you're gonna do yet? Because I heard the Lorebinders are gonna go over to Yorn, and I kind of want to get on board.
Yeah, that was pretty much I think where we're heading next. Still waiting. I don't know what's keeping her, what she's doing up there, but can't really interrupt her. So when she's done, we'll figure that out, and then we'll get going.
You're talking about Shay? She kind of looks towards that area. Shay, you can see or you hear in your mind this voice. Hey, you coming? Your friends want you.
Yes, I'll be right there.
She turns back to you, Heinrich. Yeah, she's gonna be down in just a second. But I want to get going. Yeah, so I want to kind of get going because I got things that I'd like to do. But if you guys really need to get somewhere, I'm open to some suggestions. I'm not trying to go too far away from civilization, if that's okay. Especially because it takes me a whole day to get back,
Right. I mean, definitely Yorn will not be close to civilization, let me tell you that.
No, but I'm trying to go to Yorn. That's the end goal. So if that's where you're going, no problem. I can get you there.
Sure. Great.
Yeah,
awesome.
Sounds like a nice place.
Yeah.
Looks down at you, hearing your voice for the first time. Is that what you're gonna stick with?
Well, I am pretty sticky.
Turns and looks at you, Morwen. You gonna keep him like this, or
I don't really know what choice we have. He doesn't even know who he is.
Oh yeah, I do. I'm Glub.
No, you're not.
Well,
You're Guntir.
All right.
You died a few days ago, and you got brought back as this weird frog thing.
No, Guntir doesn't. No, that's the nightmare.
No,
how do you know about
not.
my dreams?
Because I know you, Guntir.
Oh no. Well, I think you have me mistaken with another grung.
Nope.
Well,
there's no other grung that's all shrivelly and makes sleepy noises like you do.
Well, I mean, everyone's their own individual in one way or another. But
exactly, that's how I know that you're Guntir.
Shay, are you joining the group?
Case of mistaken identity.
Yes, I'll make my way down.
Okay.
At about this time, Shay appears. You could see Karanza just kind of nod to you.
Nod back.
All right, late morning for you, huh? Welcome to the group. What are we doing?
Shit. For you, would it be wise to check in with Krodok, find out how far along he is towards getting, what he's after?
Well,
and
yes,
then deciding on where we're going?
Ideally, either meeting up with him or meeting him there would be at the top of my list.
Okay. Because I think the entire party kind of wants to just get right on over there, save for Glub here.
Interesting choice of name, but if that is how you wish to be known now, Glub.
Well, I mean, that's what my mother named me, so...
Sure.
Hey, why don't you knock some sense into him, like good old days.
You can see Karanza kind of holds up a hand. I wouldn't do that. Touching grung can be kind of nasty.
All right, fine. And I pull out a glove.
Okay, you pull out this old kind of waxed glove that is, I'm assuming it is the waxed waterproof glove. Okay.
With the matching...
Now I see why you gave us those so long ago, Joe.
Okay. You also
You knew this was going to happen.
Could you imagine if I somehow was able to do that?
To plan all of this.
I mean, yes, this was all...
They're the grung handling gloves.
Yeah, I knew several months before you guys made it to 1,000 Gates that Guntir was going to have a confrontation with an old foe in the middle of an alleyway after multiple cues that probably it wasn't a great idea. And so I decided I'd give you a shitty pair of gloves that I knew Morwen would try to steal from you. Yeah, definitely all planned.
Perfect. Nailed it. Perfect.
You watch as Morwen pulls a leather sack that has been waxed on the outside, eye holes cut out of it. The eyes...
I'm not putting it on.
Oh, you're not putting it on. Okay.
I'm just saying that the glove came with them. It's a matching set.
Gotcha. You pull on this waxed leather glove.
I think this one has perhaps seen enough violence in recent days that only adding more would not help.
Yeah, I suppose
violence is rarely the answer.
Yeah, I'm still not convinced it's him, but...
Okay. I kind of agree with Glub.
Yeah, so Glub, would you like to join us to this wonderful, fantastical, distant land of Yorn?
Swamps.
Yes.
Ooh, if it's like swamps, then
No, don't lie to him. That's not nice. It's a floating island in the sky.
I don't appreciate lying.
Yeah, who's lying now?
I'm not saying swamp. I'm saying it's a floating island in the sky.
Oh my god, we're never going to get to Yorn. So, do you have something from the place?
Yeah. And I bring out the ninth path robes.
No, that's not really going to be from there, no.
You're right. I put them away.
I have some things.
Oh my god, I put them on Guntir. No, just kidding.
You could.
They're kind of big. You took the ones that... Actually, you took the ones from the kobold, so you would have a set of ninth path monk's robes that would fit on Guntir.
All right. Why don't you do that while I look through my...
You want me to do that? All right.
I think I have something, but first I need to check with... You already met Laurara. I need to go check with her about something, just briefly.
Yeah, go ahead. Whatever's going to get us out of here within the next hour or two would be great.
Perfect. Yeah, exactly.
So, is Yorn on the way to the swamp?
It's not.
It's like a city that's floating in the sky, right? It's like a cloud giant ancient city. Yeah, there's no swamp up there.
Oh, well, that sounds like a fun, exciting adventure.
I think so. That's why I'm going. I mean, there's all kinds of things that change.
Ooh.
For a transmuter, there's tons of stuff I want to see. Yeah, Karanza Billows, the transmuter.
What about it? To meet you.
She looks at your hand. I'm not going to shake you. I just told the cat person this is not a good thing to do.
Oh, well, that seems a little bigoted, but...
You just have a coating of toxin. You're a grung.
Well, yeah.
You have a coating of toxin on your skin. It's that slime.
Oh, is that what that is? I thought I was just sweaty from the sweater.
I mean, I'm not a biologist. I'm a transmuter, but probably it's not sweat. It could be, I guess. But you got slime. You got slime on the outside.
Oh, well, that seems to track. Okay.
I can't seem to find. I don't think I actually took anything that originated from up there. Didn't we take the necklace off of the cloud giant, or no? Or the ice? Was it an ice giant? Whatever.
You don't know.
I don't remember. I don't think I actually have anything from Yorn, honestly. Like, I acquired the tea set, the collapsible tea set, but that was like a dead.
It was a ninth path monk thing. Yeah.
So like.
Well, I mean, it might be better to go back with the lore binders then and then go from there, because it's a little dicey if you're going to do it without something, and I've never been there before. I got a vague idea as to what it sort of is like, but I've never seen it. So,
yeah. Shay, did you keep anything from there? Marwen, did
Not
you steal
anything that originated from there, no.
That originated from there. No,
any coins, any money, any weaponry?
Genuinely, I don't think so.
I don't think we kept anything from this place. We didn't really find much, to be honest.
We were on the go a lot, so there wasn't a whole lot of body.
With just, if you could describe the place, it's like a 50-50 shot. And it's 50-50 like, things will go real wrong. Or, maybe we'll get kind of close. But it's the description, it's maybe like 25% chance we get there on target. Not great.
Well, those aren't great odds at all.
Right.
No,
so,
not. Let me go talk to Laura. Maybe something about this will help too. I'm not sure, but...
Okay.
Give me a sec. And I'll go over to Laura.
You leave the group. Is anybody going with Heinrich?
No, I'm staying with the weird frog.
Okay, you stay with the weird frog. Heinrich, you go out. You find Laura. She is outside of her hut. You can see the stump that Heinrich, the stump that Guntir or Grunter burst from, just kind of slowly, like kind of stripping pieces of the bark away, and sort of seems to be trying to reshape it. Stops, like sort of puzzling. Seems to be working on it in some way, but she turns to see you. Oh, hi, Heinrich.
Hey, all right. I have a question for you.
Okay.
I remember last time we were here, you were able to help look in on a person at a great distance. Is that true? Is my memory serving me correctly?
Give me 1 second. Let me look. That would have been session like...
There was that woman that I think Obsidian's Haze sent after us or something.
33. Yeah, I can do that. It's not always... it doesn't work 100% of the time, but I can try.
Do you remember Krodok, our friend that was with us?
The Aarakocra.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of them, even this far north.
Right. Do you think you could try to locate him and pass on a message for us?
I could certainly try. Just 1 second here. She could see she goes over to the corner. You see the cloth covering what you know to be a crystal ball. But she pulls it away. You see the gleaming surface shining with a strange interior glow. She pulls a couple of these odd seats from the corners of the room. Nothing really matches here. It's all handmade. All right, so I can look in on this person. Krodok, you said.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be able to kind of get a sense as to where they are for about 10 minutes or so.
Can you communicate with them, or is that too much?
I can't do that, unfortunately. There are some who can, but it's not really within my abilities.
Okay. Well, even that information would be helpful.
Okay. She sits down. She gestures for you to sit.
Mm-hmm.
You can see she stands, kind of stoops down in the space and holds her hands on either side. You can see this faint glow creep across first the cheeks and then into the eyes. A faint green. The red hair on the edges begins to lift as if static, pulling it off of her shoulders. The interior of the ball becomes opaque, like a gray, almost cloud. And it begins to shift and move. Wisdom is like not a bad saving throw for Chronic, but let me just look at the spell save DC. All right. The clouds begin to pull away, and you can see the element of clouds kind of drifting by. Different kinds of clouds. These gray, like the ones above the magical dome that you're within. You see kind of shifting your make a perception check.
12.
Okay. You see Chronic wearing full Zinni garb. You can see the sort of elements of damage that he'd sustained defending the Zinni monastery, healing fairly well. You'd imagine probably magic applied to it in some way. You hear the of these large muscular wings on Chronic's back before he glides for a distance, effortlessly. You, having spent a lot of time looking through Nod's eyes, Chronic can command the air in a way that even this owl never could. This is effortless flight. You watch, and for a brief moment, the clouds kind of part a little bit underneath. You see elements of dead grass, patches of snow. I would say none of you would really have an idea as to where this is, but not quite in the north yet. So Shay, I would say you're not there, right? Heinrich, you have no idea where this might be.
Okay, but it's not snowy, so he's not there yet.
There's little patches of snow. And Laurara, looking at it, says, he's somewhere to the west, but I don't know how far away. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's good. That sort of helps me with what I had in mind after this.
She pulls her hands away. It just becomes a crystal ball.
Yeah, alright. We may be leaving soon, but that's pretty much it. That's all I had. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm always happy to help.
Alright, let me just keep running back and forth between your house and the other house now. I'm gonna...
If you want, but there's probably easier ways to do that.
Well, yeah, but for me it's a lot of energy to just appear somewhere.
Well, good luck, I guess. If
Yep.
you need anything, I'll probably still be here.
Yep, I will find you if we need anything, and if we're leaving, I'll say goodbye.
Okay. And she kind of goes back, stands up, and begins to return to what she was doing, begins to cover the ball back up.
Right.
While this is happening, Morwen and Guntir and Shay, are you guys doing anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask him to tell me more about his nightmares.
Oh, well, I had a dream that, I was, with your friend on the poster, and, he died and was, burning in an eternal hellfire for all eternity. And so,
Yeah.
it was pretty scary, and then I woke up, and glad it was a dream.
And in this dream, you were viewing him, or were you him?
Well, I think I was viewing him because, obviously I'm here and he's dead.
Do you want to tell him, Shay, or should I?
Tell me what?
All you, Morwen.
Yeah, so like that's all like pretty true, dude.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's my dream, so I figured that it was. Since I dreamed it. I was the one telling you the story, but, okay.
No, that happened. Did shot in the dark, did the guy or that happened to kill this person you saw look like this? Ta-da! I'm gonna do the priest guy.
And the glamored leather armor, the studs, the little rivulets of metal swirl and shift, and suddenly in front of you, Guntir, you can see this blue-scaled dragonborn. It's like very pixelated looking because it's not. Again, this isn't like a painting.
Or is it a TV?
No, it's it looks like somebody kind of like patchwork quilted a blue scale dragonborn. You imagine a grimace or a smile, kind of hard to tell with the definition of it. But a blue skin dragonborn, you can see that.
Oh, I don't know.
Like Talon
Could
said,
have
it's
been
8-bit
him.
art.
It's kind of hard to tell when it's on your shirt.
You can see Karanza really looking at this like, that's pretty neat, actually. Are you magical?
Nah.
Huh. You looking to sell that?
No.
You sure? I could probably make you a pretty good offer.
No. Thanks, though. It was a gift.
All right. Hey, I understand sentimentality. No worries.
My back
Heinrich,
now.
you make your way back to the group.
Jay Kroddick is somewhere to the west, not far enough where we could use him as a base to teleport to. Would probably be a bad idea. That was my backup, was that if he was already there, we could just go to him, because that's a more solid connection that you have with, you know, where he is. But I'm wary of making the quick jump to Yorn. Do we go our own way? Do we wait here for him? What would you think we should do?
Well, where did you tell him to meet us?
And I believe I told him to meet us here.
You told him that you were in Smuggler's Dug. You didn't tell him to meet you anywhere.
Right. I'd assume he would come checking after he went there, found it, and we weren't there.
So then the better
Or we
question is, how quickly will it take us to get to Yorn?
Well,
Kind of
if
looking at
he's-
Carranza.
Yeah.
Oh, like a couple seconds. So again, this kind of depends. So if you don't have anything to go by, it could take a second. Or, we could end up about, let's see, it's like we're
How
going
could we
about 60 miles.
25%.
We could end up in the shifting glaciers that separate Dominion from the Alt. We could end up in probably the Emerald Expanse. Well, this far north, it wouldn't be the Emerald Expanse. Either way, it's not a great look if we go far off course. So, maybe we wouldn't make it anywhere. But
how could we aid you
Some
anyways?
people
How
say
could
that it's
would,
about the
like
journey, not the
description
destination.
would our memories somehow be able to help you? I don't know if you got that kind of thing. I know we could both, and then I'll just message like talking each other's minds.
messages back. Yeah, no, but I can't really manifest memories. I can draw a picture, but that's
Right.
kind of
Okay.
the closest thing.
Fair.
So transmutation, right? It's really about shifting like materials. I can make people into animals. I can make animals into people. I can make the earth into mud. I can make mud into earth. I can make stone into something else. I can disintegrate matter. I can teleport matter. But it's difficult to
gotcha.
really.
What's
Yeah.
the
So
biggest
if we were
difference?
to return to the Lorebinders Academy, how long would it take? How are they getting to Yorn?
I don't know. I'm not a lorebinder. You see these robes? Do these look like blue scholarly robes to you? No.
What do they look like?
What do her robes look like?
Yeah.
So she's wearing, it's almost like a yellow half jacket that goes over it's like leather armor probably, or hide armor. It's reddish, and you can see it goes up to a high collar. There's some fur coming out of the top as if it's like meant for warmth. You see this glowing stone that at the moment shifts with an internal purple energy. Got some brown hair.
Don't look like that, no.
Oh,
So an accurate description of the landscape surrounding it wouldn't be able to help, right? You would need material. That's the point.
yeah. So basically, there's a few things that I can kind of go into. Like, if you give me a description, that's the second to worst thing that we could do. The worst thing that you could do is tell me a place that doesn't really exist. I try to get us there. There's no way to get there where it's bad. I did it one time. Don't want to do it again. The description is a little bit better. It's almost about the same as if I'd ever seen it like once from a distance. And then, the more familiar I am with it, the better it is. But the best thing to do is either there's a permanent teleportation circle. If you know about one in there and you have the glyph, I might be able to do it. And then if you have like an object, that's the best. That's really would be the best.
Well, what about this? And I bring out all of the pieces of the breaker that I've had this entire the whole time. I'm just like, oh guys, look what I found.
Yeah, because we could never have detected her sneaking anyways. It's impossible. Shit. Yeah, I don't know. I'm at a loss.
Heinrich, make an intelligence check.
I want to get to Jorn.
Make an intelligence check.
Yeah. Okay, how's an 18 sound?
For Jorn.
You vaguely remember that you did pick something up within Jorn. You remember being within the healer's hut for the first time. You found this bag, and within it there was a like a salve or a potion that regains your magical spell slots, and you do have that within your inventory. I don't know if you added it to your inventory, but you did pick it up.
I don't know if I wrote that down. Well, if I have it, I'll bring it out anyways.
You pull out these they're like little stone jars, and opening them up, you can see within it this slightly dried out with the ages, but still very much viable. It's like a salve, and it glimmers with this blue. And you know now that applying it can restore spell slots up to a certain amount.
Huh. How many were there?
Within the applications that you have, you could restore 2 spell slots.
Okay.
Or, up to a 2nd level spell slot.
Gotcha. Okay. I will produce that and be like, wait a minute, I just remembered.
Oh, okay. So, this is kind of what I'm talking about. As long as
look, I mean, because, I got one of these bags, and I'm just, gonna do the whole put my arm way too far into it thing.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, like a enchanted kind of thing.
When we've been traveling a long time, I forget the things that I toss in there in a panic, because last time we were in Jorn, we were in a panic, so.
Oh, be careful about organics in a bag like that. All right, she takes this potion, or this is a salve. Takes a salve and kind of holds on to it. Is everybody ready to go?
Wait, is Aka coming?
Well, hold on a second. We're not. I'm just asking if this will work. Are we all ready to go? Are we trying to go there right now?
I mean, you just handed me this thing, so I just kind of assumed. But it's really whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah, let's go.
Is he in any condition to go?
Get me to the swamp after?
Sure, maybe. I don't know. But you should definitely dress warmer before we leave.
Sorry, I was asking, I didn't get your name.
You talking to me?
Yes.
I'm Carranza Billows.
Oh, it's nice to meet you, Carranza.
You tried to shake my hand earlier, so, we're not really just meeting for the first time, but, all right, yeah.
It's nice to have your name to associate with the handshake that you didn't give me, but, if you could spare some of your time to bring me back to the swamp after, I think I'll come with you to Jorn, but, I gotta be moving right along after that.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be real with you right up front.
Oh.
That's not in any part of my plans. I've been to a swamp before. I've been to a marsh, in fact, and it's not for me. So best of luck there.
For everyone, but
a lot of undead in the marsh, so I'm going to stay out of there.
Gated marsh?
Doesn't sound very good.
Yeah, the gated marsh. You been there?
Yeah, that's where we brought that one back from.
Oh, so, you're probably pretty acquainted with the marsh itself. Not a great place. So,
Nope.
I would stay out of there, grung.
Well, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but some people call it home, so...
Okay,
so we ready to go? No, he needs to get warm clothes, and we need to see if Aka's joining, and then we will be going once we decide all that.
Okay, well, you can see she kind of looks around. She sees a barrel off to the side of this kind of stable-looking thing. Let me look up the spell real quick. She walks over to this. It looks like probably used to hold rainwater or something like that. But waves a hand over it, and you can see suddenly it shifts, and the water spurts out from the sides of the planks as it bends and almost seems to shape itself. She sits down in what is now a chair made from this, and the barrel again lifts up and seems to almost walk the wood into legs as this animated barrel now kind of carries her over sitting. I'll just wait here, and then whenever you're ready, let me know, okay?
Perfect. Exactly.
Transmuter.
Yeah, Morwen, no, I'm pretty good. Thank you.
Morwen, can you get Glub some clothes? anyone here would be able to help.
Yeah, I have 1 pair of extra winter garb.
Perfect. I'm gonna go find Akka and see if he's joining.
Okay. You go into the house. How's Akka doing? This woman has recovered.
Oh, I think like as soon as she was recovered, I'd probably be like, "All right, here's your water. I gotta get going."
Okay, you head out. Even Heinrich, as you try to get in, you can see Akka heading towards you. The smell hits you. Yeah, not great.
Back
not
out
great.
immediately.
Sure.
And I shut the door as fast as I can. I'm like, ooh.
You all right there, guy?
Like 1,000 yards there.
Sorry about whatever that was. I still don't. Okay, look, we're going to Yorn. Are you joining?
I don't. Yeah. Let's get out of here. Oh
no
my
other
God.
business to attend to. No other pressing matters. You're good to just jump right there with us.
Yeah, just I need to get some. Oh, I feel like I'm not going to be able to smell for a week.
I don't think I have anything for that. Sorry. Here's some incense, and I'll give him a little bit of incense.
Okay. This very, very fragrant, small, little, almost like a little clump of powder.
I'm just gonna like take a clump of it and just like put it under my nose and be like
smelling salts.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure. Yeah.
Or whatever the morticians put underneath their nose.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
All right. So look, if you're ready to go, once we get the frog ready to be in the cold weather.
Oh, the frog's coming with us?
He doesn't seem to know where he is or what he's doing, so I think it's just gonna. I don't feel comfortable leaving him to wander through the frozen north by himself, trying to head to a swamp. Does that make sense to you?
I mean, no, but none of it's made sense to me the entire time. We came to this random place in the middle of to get your friend back, and your friend is a grung.
Right.
I thought we were going to be going at.
So.
Well, that's up to you. I'm just contractually obligated.
Right. Glad you are still on board. So
yeah,
if you're ready, we're ready.
Again, as ready as I'm ever gonna be.
Cool. Perfect. So, and that's back to the group.
All right. So you guys as a group now clustered together. Kronza looks.
I have to go say bye to Laurora first.
You see she's like, oh my God. All right. I'll be here. And you head off. Who's going to Laurora? Heinrich, Morwen?
I'll be polite.
Okay. Heinrich and Morwen go. Guntir, you go.
I'm just keeping friends because we don't have a lot.
I feel like, I'd probably like subconsciously be following Morwen.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Wait, which one?
Grunter.
Glub. Okay. No, that makes okay.
So you follow at a little bit of a distance. Okay. You guys all get to Laurora's hut. You can see she's back to kind of going around and working on this project she was working on previously. She turns. Oh, hi again.
Hi. We are here to say thank you for your hospitality, but we are leaving.
Oh, I thought you just like running back and forth.
I do that as well. That's
weird.
Since I'm the messenger, I guess, or the doer. I don't know. Whatever.
Oh, so we've got a transmuter and a messenger.
Oh, Jesus.
Just kidding. Fuck.
What is it? Oh right.
Hey, little grunt.
Well, just want to say again, thank you. And I hope that, that we'll be back again sometime soon in the future. And not have to keep running away and around and on all these, busy things that we're doing, saving the world and whatnot.
It would be nice if you could stay for a little bit. But like you said, you're up to busy things. You're saving the world. That can't be rushed or understated.
It has to be rushed, apparently, since a lot of people are working to... You know what? That's neither here nor there. And we can't be here and have to get there. So really do thank you, though, for your hospitality. And if I ever use that cool tree and you're ever traveling and see a giant 60-foot tree in the middle of nowhere, you'll know that's that token thing that you helped me understand what it does.
Well, and remember, if you're able to do that, I can travel directly to you or potentially pull you back. It's a little difficult with timing, but in theory, I could open a door for you and bring you back. I don't need to travel through.
You got a lot
How
of
would we
talent in
be
this
able to
little.
arrange that? How would I be able to talk to you from a distance, letting you know that I'm making this tree? Or would you just know? Would you feel it?
No, I appreciate your enthusiasm for my abilities, but
Well, I mean,
depending
look
on
at
the
this whole
distance,
place.
thank you. This took several years, but um, that's something that you would need to figure out how to do separately. I can try to think about it. I can send a message by animal, but that takes a long time.
Does he count?
Well, I
Would
mean,
be
I
a
would say that
snail mail.
Well,
you can see she tries to politely laugh, but like can't. That's a pretty rough one. He, I don't really know.
it's all right. I might be able to do something with Nod here, and I'll just poof Nod up.
This fey owl appears. Celestial owl, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool trick.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
take a couple steps away because I feel like owls are predatory towards frogs.
Maybe. I don't know. Not this one, that's for sure.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
doesn't
Nod
seem as
here
if
might
this
be
one
able
was
to.
hostile towards you.
I've never
Plus, I'm
tested sending a
Bigger than a
message with
normal
her.
frog.
I've never tested long distance flight with her. Usually she sticks pretty close, but maybe give it a shot. But again, that would be as fast as you sending a message with an animal. So
Yeah.
we'll figure something out. But that's a cool thought. I will note that down. I'm actually going to take out a book and literally note it down.
Okay. Yeah, you write it down. Oh, you weren't kidding.
Yeah.
Well, good luck.
Thank you. And
Wait, before we go, do you have any, of those like little potions or something like that like bring someone's memory back?
Bring someone's
Oh,
memory
yeah,
back.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about bringing memory back. I can bring somebody back from being unconscious. She goes over and you can see opens up this wooden cabinet and looks in and shifts a couple bottles around. Hair loss. I could give him a beard probably, but nothing that I could really use to
That's a start.
make a persuasion check.
is it dually pointed too at her and grung?
It's a dirty 20.
You can see she pulls out this dusty. It's like a really classic potion bottle, straight down and bulbous at the bottom. Dust goes away from it, and you can see within this dark brown liquid. It looks like Coca-Cola without the carbonation almost. And as she shifts it, you can see clinging to the sides of the glass, there's different colored hair. It's not going to be pleasant for him to drink, but he'll grow a beard.
Does it like stop at some point, or does it just grow forever?
Oh, that
That's
would be
important.
funny, but no, it stops.
All right, you willing to part with that?
She hands it over to you.
I'm going to be wary of everything that Morwen cooks from now on.
I'll think about, oh geez. I'll think about if there's maybe some way to help with the memory thing. I've never really considered that before.
Yeah, we're struggling a little bit. I can tell he's kind of in there, and he has some memories, but he doesn't realize that it was him having this conversation right in front of him.
Yeah. He's like looking up at both of you because he's 2 feet shorter than you, Morwen.
Oh, I forgot he's small.
He's tiny.
He's small.
Oh, cute.
Small, yeah, you're right.
I don't know if cute's the right word. All right, beard juice.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
yeah,
I'm right here.
yeah, I know.
Are you you're talking about me, and I'm right here. That's generally considered pretty rude.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you can join the conversation though. Yeah. So, yeah, he doesn't realize that his dreams were real. So I think he's a little confused.
Well, I mean, I told you that I think that they are real, and that they as real as a dream can be.
Yeah, but just that
really
they weren't.
happened in my mind, and
Yeah, but
you
they
know,
weren't. They weren't dreams, my friend.
but they were.
Nah, I was there for some.
You weren't in
We
my
can talk
dream.
about this on the journey.
Yeah,
There'll be plenty of time while we're traveling to
and
talk about
if you
this.
want a beard, I got the stuff.
Thank you, friends of Bards in New York. Appreciate it. So, yeah. You can see she follows this conversation, smiling at first, just kind of trying to track it back and forth. This is confusing for Laura, who, though very wise, not terribly intelligent. But she kind of looks down at you, Grunter, and she gets way down because she's about 3.5 feet taller than you. She's more than twice your height. But she lowers down, the red hair folding over the Furbolg's face, almost like an orange mane.
Hello.
Hi. What's your name?
My name's Glub.
She puts like an arm on her knee. She's like now fully down at your level.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
She turns out, takes your hand, shakes it, no problem. Well,
It's not everyone's rude around here.
no, most people shouldn't touch your skin because it is quite toxic.
What the transmuter said.
Well, she's right. I know a lot about natural things.
Well, I guess you learn stuff new about yourself every day.
I try to, but a long time ago, I knew you as a different name.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, that's pretty interesting.
I think that you should listen to your friends.
Okay, well, they told me that I didn't really have many friends. So...
I'm gonna glare at Morwen.
But I said I was the
I
best
guess
one.
that's that.
And I think when you don't have very many, it's important to keep the ones you have close.
Well, that's what I said to them, to a similar effect, that, you know, maybe a few good friends is better than a lot of not-so-good friends. As quality over quantity is the general theme that I was getting at.
Yeah, this guy's a buzzkill.
Laurora's eyes shift over to all of you and shift back to you, Gunter. Well, there is a time where I think you went really far away, and you should really listen to the people around you and maybe try to keep them closer this time.
Okay, well, you know, we're pretty close as it is. Like,
Yeah.
Everybody like kind of pulls away every time you get close to them. But Laurora reaches out this big Furbolg hand and pats you on the head.
Was it like sticky?
A little bit, yeah.
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 It's moist. Everyone's favorite word.
What the hell's wrong with you?
All
Good
right.
luck to you wherever it is that you're going. I hope that you find your friend Krodok soon.
And if we could figure out a way to send a message, that tree thing sounds awesome.
And I'll work on this end to try to figure out a way to help our friend.
Well, best of luck on yours.
And do you guys leave?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Bye, thank
You guys exit Laurora's hut. You make your way out into Smuggler's Dug. You rejoin the rest of the group. Shay and Carranza, who now off of her animated rain barrel throne.
And Akka.
And Akka.
We're just dragging everyone along.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
That's duality. It's the only
All of a sudden,
thing
Pericolo shows up. I actually thought about trying to pull Pericolo in, so then you'd have to
make him play three characters.
How's
that for the opposite of splitting the party?
I almost took the kobold, like every character, for a brief moment, and I realized I could get 8 of Matt's characters together at once from all the
Night
one-shots.
of 1,000 Matts.
I thought about literally breaking the campaign to do that, but anyways.
All right, so I'm gonna clap my hands directly at Karan's and be like, Your impatience has proved worthwhile. We are ready to go.
It's not really impatience, you know. For most people, this is like a pretty simple task. We want to go to point A, so we're gonna go.
Yeah, but we need
for
to
you guys
prepare
just kind of go in circles for like.
There's a lot of preparation to be done.
That's the finger gang.
I can't really see the sun, but like almost an hour and a half now. So like you know,
at this, Akka would probably be like, "Yeah, this is their MO."
Just,
okay, well,
you got to deal with
we
it.
We got everything we need. I think we have every one we need. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we could take 2 more if you're trying to lug the whole village with you.
Who wants to go to yard? No, I'm
Do you yell
that?
Okay.
But I am going to dress
appropriately.
Yes, me and
Glub.
Thank you, Glub.
Okay. You dress, you help Glub very carefully. You help Glub dress.
I'm gonna write on your napkin.
Thank you.
Put
You
my
know what?
arm
Yeah,
up
sure.
and
You
just
know,
like a
why don't I
toddler.
just,
drop an entire.
anyone want to go
fold.
to Yorn? Yeah, I'll just, you know what? Why not?
Are you trying to persuade people to go?
Nah, just like if they've ever wanted to, now's your chance.
You yell that out. You can see a few people kind of look up, and there's a little bit of chuckling. There's some confusion. A lot of people here don't really know what Yorn is. Until fairly recently, it was like this mystic floating city that very few in the north knew about, as it is usually hidden by the bank of clouds that it floats upon. But nobody immediately comes forward.
That's probably for the best.
Hey, you gave it your best. So everybody put a hand on a shoulder or on my back. Really, that's kind of it, though.
Sorry about your paralysis with this little guy having to touch you.
I give him the.
It's not on the skin,
glove.
so it's okay.
Oh, I give him the glove anyway.
I would actually imagine, and also considering it's cold weather gear, you have gloves on. Now, worth noting, this is not magical cold weather gear, and so again, this tiny, it looks like a toddler in all like the swaddled up snowsuit. Yeah, you look like a starfish. You can't really bend your arms or legs.
It's going to be a little tricky to move, but
I'm going to say probably you're at disadvantage for anything dexterity related, saves or checks. But we'll get there when we get
pretty
there.
Standard for Guntir is
That's fair.
in any life form.
Yeah.
And you can see as she holds on to this remnant of Yorn, she closes her eyes. You all suddenly, almost involuntarily, have to shut yours as the sensation of movement overtakes you. But because it is 10:30, we're going to take a quick break. It is 10:31. We'll be back at 10:41. Thank you so much for hanging out, Bards of New York. We saw that you came by with a couple of people, Vindictive Jukebox, Woodman 1129, of course, Talon, who is our lovely moderator. Woodman, thank you for the subscription. And we will be back at 10:41. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Matt, man. Fuck. And howdy, folks. Welcome back to Adventures in Alberon, where Matt just does Matt stuff. Welcome back to Adventures in Alberon. For those of you who are hanging out, coming for the first time, welcome. For those of you who have been here for a very long time, thank you so much for joining us on this adventure. We can just jump right back into some D&D. So let me pull up our appropriate music as you guys begin to teleport. You all jolt forwards. You can feel the sensation. And then outside of the area that you find yourselves, you can hear gusty wind. You hear elements of metal flexing. And I would say around you, looking, you are familiar with the place that you're in. Give me just one moment to pull it up. This is like a fairly small nook, and as you look behind you, you can see an element of wood that I believe, Heinrich, you had last wedged into place. This is the Healer's Court, this sort of circular courtyard-like structure that's collapsed in a little bit, kind of like a tiny coliseum. Most of it crumbled in, but there is this small sort of space, a cavern formed by the rubble that you guys had slept in at one point. And there is still
puke there.
In the very back corner, there is still very dried puke in the corner. Yes.
Does that
There's
stir
also
anything up in Glub's head?
Glub?
Probably
Damn.
not.
Damn it.
No.
you can see there is like a huge bone of a giant that is protruding from the stone that was here last time. And you remember actually that Guntir had taken a ring or taken a ring off of this giant. You still see the bag that you had originally taken that potion out of, kind of discarded on the floor.
Undisturbed. Interesting.
Yep, and that log, that piece of wood that you'd wedged in, also undisturbed. So
I'll look around to everyone who hasn't been here yet and be like, welcome to Yorn. It's a lot better when we get out of here.
Immediately setting off in the direction of where the breaker was last.
We'll meet you there, Shay, I guess.
The wood.
You're way faster than us.
Yeah, the wood splinters outwards. The wind for a moment picks up and brushes past, and Shay, you're out into the wind. For anybody following Shay, or are you guys staying in here for the moment?
I think Taco would probably try and follow Shay.
Okay. Shay, are you moving at a rate?
Sorry.
Are you moving at a rate in which Akka could follow you?
Not speeding. Like
it's a yes or no question. Because
are you running?
What's Akka's speed? 35.
Yeah, 35.
Probably not, unless he's hustling to keep up.
Probably hustle.
Okay, so you jogging behind, getting out of breath pretty quickly, barely catch up with Shay, who is not in any way exerting effort. This monk hard to keep up with, but you do. For the rest of you, following a little bit slower, you step out and into the wind. For Guntir, even with all the gear on, it's pretty cold. And as you emerge, you can see Karan's eyes grow huge. You step into the daylight. You are above the cloud cover here. The sun strikes everything you can see gleaming off of the white marble of most of these structures. There's still thin filaments of gold that hold the elements of stone together. A lot of broken glass here. Glass is very common within Yorn. As you step out, you can see Karan's like overwhelmed at this place, just taking everything in. You can see to the north that little guardhouse that you had seen that huge sword within. You can see an element of the hearth hall that you had been to at one point as well, kind of off, the burnt black exterior betraying the sort of nature of it from within.
Everything that we're looking at, I'm also going to be everything that we can see that we have a bit of a story of. I'm going to tell Glum. Yeah, and that's where we blah 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 blah, and then we did blah blah blah. But in my terms too, where Morwen, it's just like it was so fun. We almost died, and then we killed a bunch of things, and oh my goodness, was it an adventure or what?
She tells you about this, there's a monk patrol that walked through here that they hid from successfully. That tells you as they went through this crumbled portion off to the east and actually across a great gap. She tells you, like, you walked into this little metal ring and a cloud lifted us up and brought us across the sky. You can kind of choose to believe what you want to believe. It's pretty incredible.
Well, for us, we're going to have to take those clouds because I don't think we can get across otherwise, right? That was the way we got to the aperture.
Mm-hmm.
So let's head on in that direction. I mean, I'll try to keep up with Shay. I just don't think that that's going to be possible.
Definitely not. So you,
good thing I know my own way up there.
And Carranza kind of lagging behind because she's stopping, looking, like touching things. This is an amazing place for her. You guys reach this ring, and as you step in one by one, everybody going in? Okay. So Shay, you first. You get there first. You and Akka. You guys step into the ring. This cloud seems to swallow your feet and lift you from the surface, and you begin to drift over the stone, and then there's just clouds beneath you. The wind flying by. Shay, for you remember this feeling. This is quite nice.
Close my eyes for a minute and just kind of breathe.
Akka, worth noting, in this moment, being maybe 10 feet away from Shay as you guys go through the air, seeing the wind kind of move this very short brown hair around, you do see elements, these tiny feathers that seem to be growing within the hair.
Would I know about, like, half Aarakocran species or anything?
Never heard of anything like that before.
So this is something that is like, weird.
Yes, certainly. The rest of you get on the platform. You have to take another cloud, but you can see Shay and Akka's cloud like lifting off maybe like 40, 50 feet in front of you. One by one, the clouds make their way past. What was not here the last time, and you guys slowly approach it, this mountain that you have brought here. And you remember, luckily, this time as you approach, the cloud will lift over. There isn't that moment of panic. The cloud just gently begins to rise. You see Carranza kind of tense for a moment before it does. You crest the hill. You can see now the snow having been blown away by the wind up here. Elements of these dead trees that were locked within the grasp of winter just days before, now up above the clouds, above the snow, exposed to direct sunlight, and here and there, even at the distance that you rise above it, you can see the faintest bit of small green buds for the first time in some of these trees in years. You can see here and there wildlife. There are birds here. There are, you see a deer, and then as you're approaching kind of the north side and passing over, a moose trekking through. There is large game up here. Which there was not previously.
Oh,
and
last time we were here, we did see a human, right? That we accidentally
did, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to kind of keep my eyes peeled in case this human's still alive and maybe wants a free ride back.
I think I'll have Nod go around and do that too, remembering that as well.
But I'm still, everything that we see as it comes, I'm still going to be like, oh, and that's where we blah, blah, blah.
Just you shout over the wind to Grub. To Grub? Yeah, Glub. Okay, so both of you make perception checks. And Heinrich, use Nod's perception.
So that's 17 for Nod.
Okay.
Horrible at rolling today.
I just thought as well. I can't do guidance anymore.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Well, I can, but
well, you've got gloves on right now, and all.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So, for all of you, give me 1 second. I have to pull this guy up. What were your rolls? Sorry.
17,
both of us.
Okay. So you look, Morwen, from the top of this cloud. You don't see a human. But Heinrich, with the added use of Nod being able to fly circularly over and kind of making rings and looking down, you don't see a human. But very briefly, as you go past a section of trees in a flatter part of this mountain, you see a structure. This is a maybe like 20-foot long, 15 feet wide, like a rectangular hovel. It's like a small home made out of, it's like a log cabin almost. a single story, but fairly high roof. And there is a faint smell of smoke that you smell through Nod's superior owl nose. Recently a fire, but not currently.
I'll yell that over to Morwen.
Okay, you see...
I think he's still here. I think he's made it home.
Heinrich's eyes
Of course
closed.
he's still here. How would he get down?
Good point.
You all, as you pass over the top of the mountain, suddenly the aperture comes into view. You can see this huge structure, the top still open, the metal having never been put back. There are birds all over the structure. You can see crows, you can see buzzards, you can see other animals that you may or may not be familiar with, different kinds of avian species. And Heinrich, for you especially, you guys land, there's maybe 200 feet of road, and Shay, you and Akka are already hustling down. Something is not setting you at ease here, more than even would be normal, Heinrich. You guys make your way down the street, and when you get to within 50 feet, and kind of right as Shay gets to the door, and Shay and Akka, you guys notice this. You hear the sound, unmistakable sound of flies. Just give me 1 second here. Let me pull up Yorn. All right. So, stepping within the doors, that you'd been, I think, the last person to step through Shay. You can see this large wooden, like, scaffolding, like almost 3 stories high, that goes up to the opening in the aperture. You see these series of open holes that lead down to the sky below. There are birds and all kinds of scavengers that have surrounded, and flies everywhere. The air is thick. For reference, you guys left, I want to say something like 12 days ago. And when you left, you had left pieces of these elves dangling from chains, the ones that have been pulled apart as part of this ritual. It's attracted a fairly large number of vultures. These beautiful vultures that, they're bearded vultures. They have almost like a sheen to their feathers. But as you step in, they scatter everywhere. There is a huge agitated swarm of biting and stinging flies in this space. Here and there, you can feel them land on your skin and bite. It's like a black fly almost.
Whenever they do, I always cast Word of Radiance and bug light them.
Okay. What Word of Radiance is just one target, right?
No, it's a radius.
What is the radius on that?
5-foot radius. Each creature of my choice that I can see within range.
Okay. So you can kind
of D6 damage, or actually 3D6, but it's like I doubt they could save against an 18 charisma.
They certainly could not.
So I'm just kind of like barking like blue light everywhere
when
they
are just like help me.
So for the rest of you, from looking at Heinrich, you can see any little fly that zzz into his space suddenly just bursts into this little arcane glyph. You see the celestial ring just arc around it and then disappear, just again and again.
I do have to say a word every time I do it. And that word's just nope. So you just hear me going nope, 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 nope every time one explodes.
Sure. But this is what Heinrich is doing. For the rest of you, you're getting stung by these things. Very uncomfortable, but not necessarily doing any damage. The smell, you can smell the smell of decay, desiccation. This is...
I think Glub would probably try to eat some of the flies.
Okay. As this is happening, you see suddenly the large mouth of Glub open, and some of the flies, as they head towards you, Heinrich, just snap to this mouth. They taste like flies. Shay, as you head over to where you know the shards of the breaker to be, initially you don't see them, but with your passive perception, you realize there are these small black lines, marks in the ground. And looking over these elements of stone, you can see light, bright light, shards of light that are burning into the stone itself. Mm-hmm. These grooves, exactly the size of the shards, as they are slowly burning through. You can see blackened stone on the edges. They're about 4 inches in to the stone. Having traveled from the sky, you can see the stone that makes up this ground beneath the aperture is about 3 feet thick before it just drops to the sky below.
In holding a hand down over it, is it hot?
Right.
Yes. And so 4 inches in, even holding it about a foot above, you can feel the heat.
I think I'm going to use my mage hand, Akka, to try and like pick one up with the mage hand with my telekinetic ability.
I'll wait to see what that does, and then I'll do the same as well.
So remind me, this is an improved mage hand, right? There's a thing that improves about
it's
it?
invisible, and it's pretty much just mage hand, but I can make it invisible because it's telekinesis.
I'm going to say, based on the fact that it cannot activate magical items, as the hand reaches around, it doesn't get damaged, but you are unable to grab these. Well, you know what? Make a dexterity check using the hand. So I believe that's a disadvantage. Unless you're, because I think it's only arcane tricksters that get the advantage on that.
Yeah, it's the hand can't attack, activate magic items, or carry more than 10 pounds.
So make a dexterity check at disadvantage.
Okay. All right, 13 both times plus 5, so 18.
Okay. The hand drifts over. You can see it. For everybody else, nothing's really happening. It tries to pinch and kind of pincer down, but these are 4-inch deep grooves that are only the size of these, almost like glass shards of the breaker. Hand is a little bit too big to get in there.
Indeed. Let me see here.
This is problematic.
Yeah, this is gonna be tricky. Hey, you said you can meld stone and stuff, yeah? To
You see Karanza is just looking around. Why she kind of turns, sorry, what was that?
Karanza, we have a little need of your assistance here. You said you can change the shape of materials, yes?
Yeah, no, I'm a transmuter. It's something I can do pretty easy.
Can you just excavate all of the material around these holes over here for us? Maybe about, I don't know, half a foot deep?
She kind of walks over and looks down. Her eyes squint. What's going on down there?
It's just something we left here, and it's quite hot, and it kind of, well, we don't want it to fall through. That's it. It's just kind of burning its way through slowly, it seems.
So here's the thing, right?
Need the pieces.
I can make rock into mud. So, like, I could make like 5 inches, 4 inches, something like that into mud. And then it will just be a pit of mud and you could grab them. But if this is really hot, it's I don't know. It's going to bubble. It's going to steam. It's going to have to be a quick grab. But if you're grabbing something that can burn through stone, it's going to hurt. What's your plan here? I can do it. Yes, I can do it. But how are you going to grab the actual piece?
Yeah.
I have so would my mage hand have potentially worked if the hole wasn't like exactly the shape of the thing? So
you would imagine that potentially, yes, it could have worked. When you actually grabbed it, would that do anything to the hand? Unclear. These are legendary objects that have been broken, so hard to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have anything to put them in too? Store them in afterwards?
I'm gonna go look for a loose hand in this wreckage to just use as like a shovel.
Okay. Without even making an investigation check, you walk over to the apertures. You can see within one of them, hanging from a chain, the the radius and the ulna still protruding. There's elements of flesh left. It's mostly bone, held together with like really tightened pieces of cartilage that are starting to wear away. You could pull it out.
All right. And I'm just gonna wave to the body and be like, "Thank you."
As you wave it, maggots just erupt out of it, kind of flowing onto your fur and into the actual elements. They crawl
Shaking it
across
off.
your arm. You shake it off. It's pretty gross, but you have this maggoty hand.
Okay. I mean, is there one that's less maggoty?
Make
Um,
make an investigation check.
I have a question.
Sure, please.
Would there be a set of tools that could feasibly do this extraction?
What?
Like,
You've never handled a broken legendary object before. You don't really know. Do you have tools available? If so, you
Well-
could certainly try.
I have any set of adventuring tools with my ability. I can make a set of tools,
Yeah.
like out of my tools.
So what set are you going to make? I mean, when you're thinking about handling a piece of hot equipment, smithing tools probably would make the most
Yeah,
sense.
that's what I was sort of thinking. Was like if I could get some like tongs, like
Certainly.
smithing tongs or something.
So you're taking an hour to create a set of tools?
I got
Yeah, I
bags of
think
sand.
I'd probably be like,
Good for you.
That might help.
Proud
yeah,
of you.
Seriously.
I'd be like, I could maybe try something in an hour.
I've got a jar of dirt.
I mean, all we got to do is figure out how to get and store these things, and we
Right.
can take as much time as we can afford before they fall through. Which at this point, what was the time frame? 7 days they got this far.
Yeah, in 12 days
So-
I got this far. So you
12
guys, you were told, I believe, that
Yeah,
it's
I
going to be about
asked-
65
I asked,
days.
I asked
64
Daryl.
days from now, it should fall through.
We have time. We have time.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll try this first and see where
I mean,
it
we
gets
can't
us.
even transport for another day anyway. With
Do we
I
have
guess
something
that's
to
all.
put them in?
That's the next part that I was thinking of. Maybe there's something in this grand city that might be of use. Might need to do some exploring, though.
I point to the bodies.
You can see
Let's
Crowns are just
not-
like, yeah, no, I'm all about exploring here. That's why I'm here. So if we're going to
Yeah.
do that,
Okay
you
with
got my
sightseeing.
help.
A little bit of
Let's-
sightseeing while we're here.
Yeah, so Akka, why don't you set to making the tools that can help extract and hold, and we'll go look maybe for a smithy or something. This place is pretty
Potentially
magical.
extract and hold. I
Right, potentially.
don't know
But
if
hopefully
smith
there's
tools are
something
going to
to
do anything.
hold
It's a
it.
legendary magic item.
Right. So, yeah. I think let's try to look around for any sort of armory, smithy, somewhere, repository of something magic.
Heinrich, you thinking about everything that you've seen here, you remember that there was a point where you saw a bolt of lightning frozen in ice. And while
Right, I
magical
don't wanna-
fire melted the ice,
Yeah.
unclear if this would do that.
I don't want to
Um,
bring anyone to that room. I don't want to
fair enough.
acknowledge its existence.
Okay.
So if anyone's going to go there, it'll be Morwen,
Okay.
who can sneak away.
enough.
So maybe
Oh, that's fine. That's not the reason why I thought I would go. But yeah, sure.
what? Okay. I think the best thing to do would be search around here first for any sort of like. Actually, was the reliquary, the empty reliquary, was that still around here?
The empty reliquary is, you would assume, somewhere in Calypsos at this point.
Okay, so that was
unfortunately.
back in Gunter's bag before it was
Yeah.
stolen. Okay. I didn't know that they kept that. I thought it was maybe just discarded.
I mean, you don't know. You could certainly look around if you want.
Let's do a search. I'll keep an eye out for it while I am leading anyone who wants to join me. I'm gonna go look for anything that seems remotely magical and material. Morwen, do you want to come? And I'll message and be like, "Can you please come?"
Sure, just give me a second. So I rolled an 18 on my investigation for a less maggoty hand.
Looking around, on the southern tip, the one closest to the door, and thus you would imagine the first to be exposed to scavenging, you find a hand, or you know what? You find a foot that has been picked clean. It is skeletal. It's
Okay.
hanging together by virtue of the fact that it's still within a stocking, and so it's really just bones and a sock. But you
That's
pick it up.
hilarious. Definitely
Full
take
of
it.
bones.
Okay.
Yeah.
You pull it free.
All right, I'm ready. I'm just gonna like.
Flies take off from it.
All right. So knowing the way that we came the first time is the way that I don't want to lead anyone.
Okay.
Go the other way, explore a new area with whoever's joining. I don't know who is so far.
Karan's is going with you. Morwen's going with you.
Glub would
Okay.
probably go.
Glub is going.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm gonna search around the aperture for anything that the ninth path left that we missed.
Okay. Make an investigation check as the rest of you kind of make your way out, save Akka, who bends down and begins to do a little work.
15.
15.
I'll be done in like an hour, so you know.
See you next session.
So you don't find anything necessarily left behind by the ninth path. However, you think about it as you look around, it is fairly clean. You don't see like crates that they were preparing to bring with them or anything like that. And you also remember that you saw Juruxa through this structure begin to hurry his actions quite quickly after you guys brought elements of Yorn back. You'd imagine they left in a hurry, and they probably were here for some time. You know that they were here for some time. Months ago, you know that Highland had told you to meet here. They probably have things in Yorn somewhere. None at this point. The rest of you begin to travel and do a little exploring. Heinrich, you're leading.
Mm-hmm.
Roll a d20 for me.
Wonderful. An 18.
Okay. You've seen this place from, actually, an 18.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Wonderful.
Yay.
Can't wait.
You're, okay. So you spend some time just kind of walking through, you pick your way through the white marble structures that have crumbled in. You can see off in the distance this large, tall house that you had seen from over top previously. Huge with this sparking rune, a magical giant rune, this ancient magic that predates magic itself, or at least magic in the way that you know it.
Right.
Sparking in the distance. Yeah, exactly. You spend some time kind of moving away from it, and as you do, I would say
Not circling, by the way, for danger.
Okay. Make a perception check from Nod.
Okay. Whenever it's relevant for good vantage points. Oh yeah, that's a good start. Good thing I got advantage. That would be dirty 20.
Okay, so Nod, you see this, or Nod, you.
Heinrich,
through Nod's eyes, you see this at the same time that Guntir or Glub kind of gets a weird sort of sound. You see overhead shifting within the stones nearby. Glub, you hear stones kind of tumble down behind you. You turn, and Heinrich, you open your eyes, you turn. Both of you kind of looking past Morwen. You see kind of ducking back elven ears that kind of disappear into the ruins. You see also behind it this long brown ponytail, and on the top of the head, as it pulls back, it's like the beginnings of a receding hairline. You see furs kind of disappear as well. And Heinrich, for you would imagine this might be the individual who you had seen scampering across the mountain the first time that you had gone through.
I don't want to alarm anyone, but I think someone's following us.
Yeah, I saw that.
Hello.
Okay, go right ahead then, Morwen. Sure.
Make a persuasion check.
To hello them.
Where's my persuasion? A dirty 20.
Okay.
All
of a sudden you see the ears kind of poke out, and again, this individual, now that he comes into view, kind of a chubby half-elf, which is unusual for the kind of elven creatures. Long brown ponytail, kind of greasy, beginnings of a receding hairline. Looks like he's probably, if you were human, in his 50s, give or take, dressed in a simple tunic with a little bit more of an elaborate faded green tunic that is underneath this kind of Not a tunic, the first one, almost like a jerkin or jerkin. I can't remember how you pronounce it,
Yeah.
but and underneath there's a more
With a G?
underneath the jerkin with a J. There's a faded green. There's a faded green tunic of soft, supple hide. You can see he looks out. Oh, hello there. I'm terribly sorry, but I don't really know where I am. I was supposed to be hunting. Okay, but again, I really don't know where I am, so kind of steps out.
It's good for sightseeing. There's a lot of cool stuff here.
You can see he's wearing a quiver. You don't see any bow. He kind of hikes it up on his arm. No, yeah, I've been exploring a little bit here. It's like an abandoned city of some kind, but we're in the sky. I think.
It's Nord.
You keep saying that word, but I'm sorry, friend. I don't know what it means.
That's really all I know about it either.
He pulls up his bow. Well, it's not just the Yorn place. It's also, my home's up here now.
What home you have here?
Well, the whole thing isn't my home.
That could be.
But
Not much competition.
The world is your oyster.
I'm sorry, I'm a little confused. What are you all doing here? I haven't really seen anything. There's like another guy walking around, but
Taking in the sights.
Sorry, you said there was another guy walking around besides you?
Yep, there's at least one more. There's all kinds of things up here, but there's like a kind of like a human, I think. I haven't seen him up close. Pretty good at moving around. Dressed in purple.
Oh, great. Good that you probably haven't seen them up close. Where is it that you saw them?
Oh, well, you'll see him kind of over, and he turns and points way across where you don't see necessarily anything. It's a little bit cloudy today, so you can't quite make it out, but there's like a floating fortress or something of the nature kind of out in that direction, in that region, so I've steered clear. But a lot of cool looking things over there.
I'm sorry, I just picture it being like right over there, and it's just another person be like, oh, and it just keeps like
3 feet away.
So that's not an area that we had explored when we were last year, right?
No.
And
given
the
rough,
that I brought up either, right?
It may have been. It's in that direction.
The flower garden thing. What was it called?
Flowers in air.
Yeah, that was the first one I brought up, right?
Yes, this was the first one that you brought up. The one that is a little bit further away from the aperture.
Right. Okay. But still connected. Should we have needed to go there, and now we can, which is cool. But don't know if I want to.
Sure.
Good. Oh well, that's good that you haven't been up close. I think sounds dangerous. He's moving quickly like that.
Oh well, yeah. He's pretty quick in terms of the way that he moves, but he kind of limps a little. So maybe hurt. I don't think I'm in too much danger as long as I kind of stick to my own area. There's a lot of birds up here and some moose, a couple of deer. That's most of what I've seen.
What's your name?
Tom Busey.
Oh, nice to meet you.
You
Hi,
too.
Morwen.
I'm begging my pardon for asking, but are you like a werewolf or something like that?
No.
I'm sorry?
Tabaxi, good sir.
Okay, well, it's good to meet a Baxi.
Cat, not wolf.
A cat Baxi?
Mm.
Well,
Look.
Werecat. No.
a werecat.
Where? No.
Well, Busey.
Yeah.
Thank you for the, I guess, heads up on that. Best of luck. Unless you know, randomly, actually. Quick other question. Since you've been up here, you seem like I'm like just looking at his quiver, like the hunter type kind of, right?
I used to be, yeah. I kind of dropped my my bow and the whole mountain started shifting around underneath me and we went flying through the air. But yeah, somewhere
That
around
sounds
here.
Wild.
It's the weirdest thing. I've lived my whole life down in the Valley of Yagor pretty much. I mean, I lived around the Nanook area for a brief period, but, grew up around here, returned to here, been here for about 50 years, and suddenly just takes off in the air.
Yeah, that's...
I guess you could call it a
so
mobile
strange.
So, do you want to stay up here?
I haven't quite decided. There are parts about being in a strange alien landscape that is quite alarming, but,
Well, if you're used to
It's
isolation,
quiet.
it can't get more isolated than this. It's almost like a literal slice of heaven.
True. There are parts about it that I really do like, and like I said, there's a lot to explore. There's some strange magic around here I'm not so familiar with, though, and makes me a little nervous to explore too far outside my bounds. And then actually a little ways south, there's some rattling chains and something that groans at night, and that kind of freaks me out, truthfully. But it's across a whole... Oh, there's some rings, and if you stand in them, this little cloud kind of thing will lift you up and bring you right to a new neighborhood.
Those are fun.
Wow, cool. Well,
Yeah, so...
So, okay.
Should we offer him a way out?
If he wants to... If you
I
ever
mean, I'm
wanted
right
to
here, so...
If you wanted to weigh down, I mean, she was thinking that next time we head out off of here, we don't make it up here too often. It was kind of our cool little hideout for a while, but if you need a way back down, we might be able to help. Just throw the offer.
I think for the time being, I'm going to try to stick around. I mean, my whole house got brought up here. But eventually, once I kind of make a move, maybe I'll try to track you down. You going to stick around here, or are you just passing through?
Just
I
passing
don't really know
through.
how this place works.
Yeah,
I've got to
unclear
get
at
back
the
to
moment.
swamp.
Nothing. Yeah, gotta get him to a swamp, maybe, if we can manage that.
Wow,
Don't
swamp
know.
up north is going to be kind of hard for you to find there, fella.
Well, that's why I've got to go back south.
Ah, well, best of luck to you.
Look, so in your time up here, how long has it been since you catapulted into the sky? You say you didn't explore much, but
I've explored a little bit in this region, but going too far beyond here makes me a little nervous.
Sure.
But yeah, been about 12 days.
Cool. Haven't found another bow then, huh? No armory or anything around here.
I did actually find kind of a crossbow, but it's bigger than me, so not something that I can utilize. I found a really big sword, but again, almost as big as me. Yeah, it seems as if this was probably like a giant city at some time.
Right.
Well, everything's kind of a giant city for me.
Ha, yeah, no, that kind of makes sense. You're a real little guy now, aren't you? And he kind of gets over to you and bends down a little bit.
I wouldn't touch him.
Fair warning, I've been told that I am poisonous.
Oh, thank you for that. That's if you hadn't said anything, I was gonna shake your hand. So he kind of backs up a
I
little bit.
appreciate your politeness.
But yeah. So
we'll be kicking around. We're looking for. Well, we're not exactly sure what we're looking for. We have something in mind. Just exploring around, pretty much.
Is there any treasure?
Oh, I'm sure there's treasure up here. I mean, not a whole lot of living creatures and an entire city to explore, and these kind of strange magics.
The treasure
Generally,
of nature itself, and the wonders of nature.
I don't know about that. I've lived in nature for most of my life, and it's kind of a hard deal.
So have you found any treasure?
Oh, no, haven't found any really, but my guess is, probably in those dangerous places. I don't really understand how I got here, but if other people can get here, the easy stuff probably gone.
Well...
All right, well, I think we should be going, but we'll be around the area for a bit if you want to find us.
Yeah, we'll be in the dangerous areas.
Okay, well,
Looking around.
if you, there's only one mountain up here, but if you go there, my house is located kind of near the midsection. Long, flat kind of structure, hard to miss because it's the only one that's not made out of white marble and gold.
Yep. Well, I'm sure we'll be able to find it. Might have seen it on our way around.
Well, hope to see you again. Now, what was your name then?
It's Heinrich. Sorry.
Heinrich.
Sorry,
I'm Busey.
I'm Glub
You're Glub. Oh, what a name. And what about you, Werecat?
from tradition.
I'm Morwen.
Morwen. Okay. All right. Well, introduces to Kron, so I'm not going to roleplay that interaction because it's both me.
That'd be weird.
Hope you guys find whatever it is you're trying to look around for then.
Same with
waves.
us, and good luck on the hunt. If we find a bow, we'll bring it by.
Oh,
Well,
that'd
like you
be
said,
great.
it'll probably be pretty large, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, if I can't actually use it, just leave it where it is. It's a lot of
Right.
effort to pull it up for nothing, but I appreciate the thought.
Absolutely.
Okay, have a good day now. And he turns around and kind of slogs back up and crawls up into the top of this thing. You watch as he crawls over the top and drops down the other side.
Okay. Well, shit. That was entertaining. I'm glad we met the guy.
Also, should
You had to roll an
we,
18 or a 19. That yeah.
That's, I mean,
like a
that's
nice guy.
Yeah, you did. You did. So let's keep searching, I suppose.
Well, should we not tell Shay about the knife path person?
Well, hopefully we won't
Sounds pretty
encounter.
alarming. Something she'd want to know.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm gonna message to you real quick. Be like, we need to get some of that ice from the map room. Do you remember where it is?
Can I see if I remember where it is?
Make an intelligence check.
Oh no!
Probably not.
It's a 13.
I mean, you remember going through this tunnel that had been dug underground in the middle of the street, and it led up to this wall.
And there was a hole blown in the middle of the road too.
Yeah, probably. You could probably figure it out.
I could probably figure it out.
Cool. Perfect. I'll keep up with these guys. Go talk to Shay and let her know about that ninth path.
I'm going by myself.
Well, we're just down. We're not too far from it, right? We didn't go too far.
You're not that far, no. But,
Okay.
Carranza looks over and Carranza says, yeah, I can go with that, whoever needs it.
Nah, it's
I don't
okay. It's
mind.
okay. I'm a
I'm
big
just
girl.
here for
I can
the-
do it.
The
I'm gonna-
sights. So
Yeah, let's.
Yeah, you could take Glub.
around.
I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
All right, be careful.
Company?
I'm just.
Listen, Glub, she just kind of made up her mind. You got to have boundaries. I know you don't have a lot of friends yet, but,
Sorry, you can
I'm
stick,
doing it
stick with
strictly
me.
because I don't know how quick you are, and I'm just going to try to I'm just sprinting or going as fast as I can to Shay.
gone.
Cool.
Shay, you hear Morwen approach, and then you see,
I've just still got
Appear.
this foot of the way.
yeah, holding this foot in a sock, and it's actually a zinni sock. Very fine quality. You can see thin, kind of orange material.
Oop. So, just so you know, we met a very nice guy. His name's Busey, and he said that there's a ninth path monk potentially floating around here. I thought
Okay.
you would like to know.
Is there more of a description than that? Or where this individual is?
And I point to the little area.
She points to the solid stone wall to your right.
Yeah. Apparently someone's been limping around there.
Wonderful. For the moment, then, probably not a major priority, but we should be careful.
Okay. I'm gonna go treasure hunting now. Bye.
Have fun.
Well, I'll pick up a souvenir.
And Morwen runs out into the wind. So, Morwen, we'll follow you to this place first. Make a survival check. You get out into the streets. You're by yourself. You start running around. You're real excited. It might be harder than you think. These structures all look fairly similar. It's white marble. The roads are pretty rough.
13.
13.
I'm dead.
You begin to look.
You didn't survive.
I died.
You died. Yeah. Sorry. You get one roll. Okay. You take a little bit of time. You begin to wander. It's this kind of thing where you're like, I think I'm lost. Then you see a structure and you're like, no, I remember that. I know I'm going the right direction. 10 minutes go by. You start to feel kind of lost again. Oh, you've seen this too. Like 10 minutes ago. Not great. You realize that you're a little bit lost. You see off to your left these tall kind of structures. You get to an area that is fairly rubble strewn, but it kind of catches your attention because for the first time you see a lantern. It's not lit, but in the wind it just kind of swings on this old metal kind of post that it's been hung from. Really old. You can see the glass is kind of almost brown with age. And then beneath, it's kind of hung over a very, very large hole, about 10 feet across. You hear in this moment, as you kind of come near that, the sound of something moving around underneath.
I'm gonna go sneak up on that.
Okay, make a stealth check.
Because that hole looks like something I might have, or I participated in creating.
Perhaps.
I could have been. That hole looks like I caused that problem.
As most do.
That's 33 for sneak.
You duck down, and even the sunlight has trouble casting its glow upon you. You are well hidden. You crawl hand over hand, paw over paw to the edge of the space, and you look down. You have dark vision, right?
Mm-hmm.
About 16 feet down into the ground. This must be one of the deepest parts of this particular area. You can see there is sort of this room. And in the middle, there is almost 11, 12 feet long, a huge white marble casket. You see off to the side of it the lid, which has at some point been pushed off and cracked. You can see it on the ground, as if whatever was within has left. You can see inside this coffin or sarcophagus looking thing, there is a thick chain that's kind of attached to the base of it. Probably what was used to like drag it into place. That is what you see. It's fairly dark.
And how big's the coffin?
About 11 feet long.
Oh, that's a big creature. All right, well, I just get the shivers and like, nope, not my friends.
Okay.
Moving on.
Move on. Yeah, with that stealth check, you move right on.
Wait, so I heard something, I looked down, and that's what I saw.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not, yep, I move on.
Okay. You walk away from the space, the wind kind of taking over again. While this is happening, and you're spending now, this is probably that's like 30 minutes of time to do all that. What are the rest of you doing?
Trying to look for, I mean, specifically any sort of like smithing armory or anything there that they may have held magical items in, basically.
Following Heinrich.
Okay. Make a investigation check.
Perfect.
So what exactly are we looking for here?
Something to hold a hot magic object.
Ooh.
That is a 23.
23.
Yeah.
Okay. You take a little bit of time looking around and picking through the various elements of broken buildings. You don't find anything that looks like a smithy. And you'd imagine it'd be pretty easy because an anvil to this scale would be huge.
Right.
But what I will say is you also at a certain point, and it takes you some time, you don't catch her by any means, but you come across the same area that Morwen had come across. And you remember this area because this you were warned about. This was the Tomb of Warden.
Yeah.
You had heard that some large creature no longer sleeps beneath that stone.
Right.
But hanging above it, you can see, similar to the ones that you've seen elsewhere, a magical lantern, not from Yorn, similar in triangular appearance, brought by some external party. And you would imagine if you were to open it up somehow, could potentially hold maybe all of the shards.
Okay. I'll caution everyone to stay quiet and hidden because this area is very dangerous.
So we don't cross paths, though?
You do not, no.
Yeah.
He actually, so worth noting, you actually, it'd be close, but not. I would say you probably miss her by
like
about 5 minutes.
grocery aisles over.
Yeah.
And we're going the same looping way, looking for each other. All right,
You can swear you hear her ringtone, but like, yeah, you don't see her.
Well, for what it's worth, I am looking for them if they make any
And
noise.
you are stealthy, so there's no way that
it's
Heinrich's gonna find you.
That's true. I rolled a
no way.
33 and just let's go find my friend.
I cannot find you if I tried. So yeah, I'm gonna warn Glub and my God, the name. I'm writing it down.
It's right here.
Not Glub.
Carranza.
Carranza. I think I did write it down actually.
Carranza the translator.
Carranza.
Yep.
Yeah.
Carranza. All right. So I'm also saying this in a hushed tone. This area was warned. I was warned about this area. It sucks that we accidentally stumbled upon it, but just like shh, quiet. There might be something that's very dangerous and large around here, but I do need that lantern. So just hang on a second.
Whoa, maybe like some more details about that. That's like an ominous thing to say. We're not just gonna.
That makes me not want to go in there.
Yeah,
we're not
that's
going
like
in
an.
there.
I'm gonna agree with Glob over here.
No. That's what I'm saying. Stay quiet, hidden, just for a sec. I just need to grab this thing. Don't move. Just grab it.
All right.
I'm gonna mage hand it. Just like as close as I need to, and mage hand, and try to like quietly bring it back to me.
I mean, you can do it. I think from 30 feet away. Or what's mage hands? Is it 60 feet for you?
Mage hand for me is 30 feet.
30 feet. So standing 30 feet away, you hold out your hand. The celestial glyphs flash into existence across your fingers. This hand separates and drifts with this ghostly string across. It gets to the lantern. You're going to just try to pull it off?
I'm just gonna like get it from underneath it and then just like lift it off of the. I'm assuming it's dangling.
Yeah, make a sleight of hand check.
So it's like a rod and a metal loop thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that is 19.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Underneath you lift.
I have +8 in sleight of hand, and I still don't know why I never used it.
And you can see, the hand itself as it lifts it up. You see the metal ring just kind of fall down. The lantern almost topples, and you kind of curve underneath and bring it back to yourself. But as the little clacker like hits the metal, you hear something underneath again, just kind of shift, like stones falling down.
And I'm just like holding my breath and just like to everyone else, like sticking my arm out, like start sneaking away.
Make a stealth check. Anybody who's in this little group, make a stealth check.
Starting to sneak away. Wow.
Dirty 20. What's
Nice.
up? Holy
19
shit.
for Glub.
Ooh, look at Glub.
Is this your first sneak?
It was. Yeah.
So Morwen's there all of a sudden.
Babby's
Still Gunter's stats. That was just a flat 19.
So you all begin to slowly creak away. You do this. You see Carranza quietly drifting across the ground. You with no problems, Heinrich or Guntir. You get maybe 20 feet away, and you hear suddenly this large kind of elements of the stone around this thing all crumble inwards.
I want to take cover.
Okay, you take cover.
And just like watch for a minute just to be like, okay, is it coming after us? Is it nowhere here? Is there anything?
You see Carranza holding her breath. You take cover. You hear the wind go by. You see another couple of these little stones into the hole. Nothing comes out.
All right. Was that loud enough by any chance for me to have heard?
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna sneak towards it just to see if something.
Okay. What is your passive perception? Is 19 or is it 17?
My passive is 17.
So you come up to this. You creep up from one side.
None of us.
You look out. You don't see anything. You see stone. You see the lantern's gone.
Lantern. No, I'm just kidding.
Where are you, Lantern? Okay. Yeah.
Well.
All right. Well, I mean, I would try to lead the party in a very circuitous, stealthy, or avoiding route back towards the aperture.
Okay. You begin to lead the group. You get like 50 feet away, and you hear Carranza from behind you. What the fuck was that?
I don't know. I was warned about it as ominously as I warned you about it. I think it's something that if you actually see it, that's it. That's the last thing you'll see.
Why did we come to this place if it was
Didn't mean to.
dangerous? I thought we were going sightseeing.
Honestly, didn't mean to.
Whoa,
there are
whoa,
other
whoa,
places
whoa,
that
whoa.
are totally fine.
There's like 6 of us.
Uh-huh.
I'm just doing the math here. I mean, I had one big boom. Yeah,
ever
generally
fought a giant?
speaking, no, I haven't. I don't think anybody's seen a giant in a long time. But I mean, like, okay, well, good for you. Me too.
Killed a few.
Good for
Good
you.
on you. But the thing is, it's still just one giant. I'm Karan's Billows, the transmuter. You got, you guys are apparently heroes or something. Like, I'm just saying.
Just avoiding danger
this
when
guy.
necessary, and then there's this little fellow here to keep safe for the time being.
All right.
Look, are you gonna be so foolhardy as to jump into an ancient cloud?
Me all by myself, absolutely fucking not. But I mean,
Right.
you got the what are you guys called?
Glub.
Yeah, there's a name for it.
Yeah, so you guys are a whole group. You do this kind of thing, right? You've been here before. I'm just thinking a lot of times when you have something like that, real dangerous. There was a lantern there before. I don't think it belongs here. It's kind of small. Somebody explored down there and probably didn't come back. There's probably still something down there. I'm just saying, But, I can wait for the lore binders to get here. We can figure something out. That's fine.
Or we just regroup and then see what everyone thinks about it, because right now we're only 3.
Okay.
So let's at least head back there.
After you.
All right.
You lead the group. You guys reconverge. Shay, while they're gone, is there anything that you're doing?
Assisting Akka in any way that's helpful.
Okay. Yeah, without too much trouble. I mean, Akka, you create a set of smith's tools. Long set of tongs. You bending down using the calligraphy that is your magic. You're able to warp elements that you just find around you. A piece of twisted metal here, some stone elements. You're able to kind of pull the impurities with these strokes of your brush out of the stone and mold them into the tools that you need.
All right. Well, should we wait for them to come back before we try, or...
Let's go ahead
I'm
and give it
gonna
a shot.
take the tongs and try to grab one of them very carefully.
You take the tongs, you angle them out, and you made them narrow enough. These are like needle nose tongs. So you hold them out. As soon as you close it around this white hot piece of metal, you can hear the metal begin to kind of sizzle, and you can see it begin to glow a dull cherry red. It doesn't seem to get much hotter than that, but you pull a single shard out. You can see it glows bright. As soon as you pull it out, it's almost as if daylight in a very small radius is emanating from the shard. You can feel the heat. It's like 1.5 feet away with these tongs, so you can feel the heat coming off of
it. Now I'm just holding it with the tongs and
place it on the ground, and it should.
I guess I'll put it on the ground and go do the same for the other 2.
You can see the stone begin to kind of turn darker and darker underneath. But yep, you go back and you begin to do it. So one by one, you start
try to
pulling
place
up
them
pieces.
neatly, next to each other in a pile.
Okay.
So
you begin to do that.
Yeah.
As a group, you guys reconverge around the breaker. Akka, you have pulled out. Difficult to tell. Make an investigation check because you're looking for shards of glass that have burned through stone. It's metal, but small pieces.
Let's see. You said it was investigation.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 21.
Pull out about half, and you have a rough idea as to where they all are. It takes you some time to kind of chart out where they might be, but you notice that there's a pattern. It seems as if they may have almost exploded out from one kind of section. And thinking about that, you're able to get a rough radius as to where they might be. And so you begin to pull them out. You get about half of them out, and then Heinrich, Morwen, and Karan's will come back. Glub.
Glub. Not Morwen. Where is Morwen? Is Morwen back too?
Oh,
I would, I think, start heading back too. I mean,
Yeah.
once I saw the lamp. I mean, I'm looking for you guys. I couldn't really find you, so you must be back already. And so we're all just individually sneaking back to the
So
spot.
Morwen gets back first, certainly. And then maybe like 10 minutes later, the rest of the group comes back.
All right.
I was
So
gonna say I wanted to just make it a somewhat race, but I know that I couldn't, so I'm really happy I got there first anyway.
There you go. You win a race you never entered.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna produce the lantern and just say like, I think this might be able to do it.
Oh, that was you. I saw that lantern.
Oh, you were right over there too?
Yeah, I also saw the big casket that's been opened.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, we all should be pretty wary about it. When we were over there, we heard a big kind of booming.
Oh, I heard
Listen,
that too.
listen. You can see Carranza now kind of get close.
I
Look.
said wary, not afraid. I just meant know that there's something out there.
No.
that's
I
dangerous.
agree. I'm not trying to disagree with what you're saying, Heinrich. I got you. What I'm saying, though, to the rest of you assembled, this might be an opportunity. You know, we have a lot of heroes here. We got the, the gang, whatever you call it all together. You got Grog over here. You got, I'm a pretty accomplished transmuter myself. I think we might be able to do some damage to whatever's there. And then I'm sure it's protecting something. You know, your adventurers, you
Ooh.
probably like treasure, right? Yes.
Ooh. Yeah.
What's his face about it?
Yeah. I think she's onto something. That sounds like a good idea.
Personally, I think that the treasure is the friends you make along the way. But
Well, then you're rich, and so you don't need a split of whatever we find down there. You're good.
well, I also have been told that I have few friends, so I might be poor.
Anywho.
We'll get you
Look.
some friends. Don't worry about it.
Look,
So-
the thing we're here for is right, and I'll just gesture to the blinding light of scrap metal.
Let's see. Kind of shields her eyes. Oh, that's huh? And she gets kind of close to it.
No,
This
no,
is
Careful.
pulls back. This
Touch that.
I'm not gonna touch it, but this what is this?
It's what we're here for.
Broken.
Really
But let's
hot
try that lantern,
coals.
Henrik.
Yeah,
Magic
I'm gonna
hot,
pass it on over to
magic
you,
cold.
Shay.
Okay. Pass it over. I'll say you guys have actually interacted with this type of lantern quite often. And so without too much trouble, you can kind of find the seam. You've never opened one. However, there is a way to open it. And when you do open it, it is empty. Just an empty metal kind of contraption. Uncertain what makes it glow. But
I'll hold it so that Akka can place the next piece that he extracts into it.
Why don't you just put it on the ground and I'll put them in?
Like, place it so that way, yeah.
Yeah.
and so instead of making a dexterity check to do a midair handoff, Akka, one by one, you take the pieces of the breaker out and drop them into the lantern. The lantern slowly begins to glow this kind of orange color, but never seems to break or bend. Over the course of about an hour, you're able to extract, as far as you can tell, every piece of the breaker and place it into this container, probably about this big. It is a red hot lantern, but it is holding.
I think I would then use the tongs to sort of like hold up the lantern kind of thing. Because you know how
Hold
you
it
have
up.
that like hooky bit that you can the tong.
You scoop into the little ring around the lantern and you hold it up for Bid to see. It is probably about 3 o'clock. The sun's not going down, but the direction does cause the elements of runes around you to cast a shadow. And in that shadow, you can see it is quite hot. It does provide a dim light around it.
I'm gonna touch the foot to it, see what happens.
You touch the foot to it, and instantly that stocking, and you see the elements of the fibers curl away as they burn. The bones collapse out onto the ground. Maggots, the few that still survived, you're swinging it around, just kind of splatter out, and then a few are able to crawl away.
Gross.
I'm gonna pull out the book real quick just to guarantee something.
Okay. You pull out this simple brown-looking book.
And I'm going to write in it. I'm going to ask Uriel, are all of the pieces of the breaker currently within this lantern that we have in our possession?
Okay. You ask this question. You see the celestial glyphs, now second nature to you. I mean, you can It's as if, and worth noting, you can't necessarily write in Celestial fluently, but when you're attached to this book and you're writing questions into it, it's as if this language flows into you. But the Celestial, the complex rings and interacting lines fade into the page and slowly reemerge. The elements of the breaker that are of the breaker only are within that box.
Perfect. Okay, seems like we got them all.
Good.
Could you read that in your book?
You can see Karan's also looking at this book, kind of curiously, and she's like, "So, what do you got going on there?"
Long story. Call it a.
Is it book's length?
Call it like a conversational memoir.
Okay, like I could call it that, but like your writing just disappeared and it came back, and it's a little different. I don't speak Celestial. I think that's what it is.
Oh, you know it's Celestial. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit about it. I dabble here and there when I do a little bit of research. Some of it's Celestial. I usually get a translator. Great service that the lore binders actually provide. Yeah, what is this whole thing? Because this is magical.
Yeah, think of it like a direct line to someone who can help us.
Okay, so it's like a book ascending or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't fully understand the exact machinations of it myself. As with a lot of things in this world, I don't fully understand, but when they're useful, I use them.
All right. I mean, you a wizard too? Are you a practitioner or?
Not a wizard, no.
Like a sorcerer or something?
No. Keep going.
You can see your eyes narrow a little bit. As I kind of like limit down the things that you could be, that makes me a little bit nervous there, guy.
Have I given you cause for alarm or something ever so far? I mean, the little bit that we know about each other, sure, but...
I mean, no, I guess.
The first time I met them, they murdered someone. Multiple
Don't
people.
judge a tiefling by their antlers.
Okay, well, look, Heinrich, whatever it is that you're doing, just, kind of keep it over there. I don't mess around with infernal beings and things of that nature. And even the celestial ones, a little too stuffy for me.
Sure.
Just
I mean,
like
it's easy enough, and I'll close the book in one hand and put it back in the book holder.
And you can see like her hand almost unconsciously has shifted over to this stone, and it is no longer glowing this purple. It's like a faint blue.
As riveting as this conversation is, I am curious about this other monk you were informed about. And
yeah, that guy. Weird elf, okay? Like chubby. I've never seen a chubby elf before. But he said he's limping around, this monk.
Did we get a sense of where?
Yeah. In one of the, let's call it newer sections of the city, and I'll give you like that knowing look.
For me, I think that takes precedence over whatever else might be here.
Do you think that they'd be up here by themselves, still continuing whatever was going on before?
Whether they're continuing what was going on before, they likely have answers.
I'm sorry. I'm kind of with the frog guy. What's going on? You've been here before? You've been here before, obviously, but I mean, why were you here? It's like a old abandoned, this is a place of legend, and it's great.
Well, as you can see from this wonderful new ill-fitting scaffolding and these dangling decaying corpses, we were attempting and failed at preventing something bad from happening.
Why did you want to
make
here? I thought we were
make
going
a persuasion check?
Okay. Let's see. Persuasion is... Why am I blanking? 18.
Okay, you can see she looks at this, looks at you, her eyes narrowed. Okay, but just to be totally clear, this isn't like a you ritual.
No, this is something that this monk's
This
order
was done.
did.
Okay.
Have you encountered the name Jeruxa ever?
I can't say that I have. A monk?
Yes. Rather
Okay.
curious individual, but he's unstable at best. This is his doing.
Looks around at all these like decaying body parts hanging from chains out into the open sky. Okay, so again, just to be absolutely clear, we don't want to go fight whatever's in the ground because like you guys, you're into all kinds of fucked up shit. So
Not against it,
That's
That's
it.
what I said.
I would be curious first in seeing what else is here, in particular that monk.
all right. I mean, you guys have my interest. All right. I was here to kind of look around for a couple of things that I heard you could like. The city could change. All right. This old place, Yorn's supposed to be able to move around and shift. There was a time where it actually wasn't over the skies and Dominion. But whatever this is, I could check it out.
I mean, very clearly it did shift as the mountain now is up here.
Yeah, no, that's pretty fucking weird. I'm very interested in that.
Very
But,
dangerous too, obviously, for that to happen. Imagine if more of that were to happen. It would be so irresponsible just to destroy the landscape beneath this floating city.
Okay, but I think whatever it is you're into over there, I don't think it can move a city. That's magic on a whole different level. That's not
No.
It's not mortal magic, and I believe a lot of things. I don't think that you're a god or anything.
Well,
No.
some people say that positive thought can move mountains.
Oh yeah, well, those people are fucking idiots. I've studied magic for a long time. Magic can move mountains, but not like
Maybe
people
it's
magic.
a metaphor.
Okay, well, it's a great metaphor, but in terms of practical application, it's not going to do anything. There's no magic to positivity.
In terms of practical things to be doing as well,
Yeah.
if there's still someone of this order that we chased here and did this and is basically working towards a nefarious plot to end the world, if they're still lingering here, I think this is something we need to investigate, like now.
Sorry, ending the world?
Yeah, it's a long story. I'll catch you up on the way.
All right. Yeah, you know what? I came this far. I can't teleport back until
You're in
tomorrow.
a floating
Anyways,
sky, and you're now
That's
questioning.
exactly
There might
how
be-
I felt the first time they told me.
If this
But now you're
individual-
here in this floating city in the sky, and that's one of the things that we've
Yeah,
said, and it is
I'm
proven
in the
true.
soup.
If this individual is injured, it shouldn't be a terribly long engagement.
all right. I'm happy to throw down and everything, but I just thought I was bringing you guys to a little, middle of nowhere town. This is a whole different thing, and I'm here for it. Totally, absolutely. But how are we getting there?
Well, we can
We're just gonna
walk-
float into the clouds?
It's connected over there. That was one of the pieces that's connected. And in real, me talking. That was one of the pieces that's actually connected to the other piece of the city, right? I did raise that up.
It is connected to the piece of the city that is connected to the giant step.
Okay,
so it's the
entrance
opposite
area.
side. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
So then, yes, we'll have to float through the sky to the other half of the city, and then go investigate that way.
Okay. Lead on. I mean, this is a whole different kind of thing. I'm enjoying it. I'm a little trepidation, but
Afterwards,
Even
if
though I
Take
will,
photos.
you wish,
I will say we.
Whatever those are.
Go ahead.
afterwards, if you wish to engage whatever it is you found, we can certainly do that as well.
Yeah, this one first, then
yeah.
your thing, and then we'll, I mean, that's not even the only two things that are probably here that are cool, so.
all right. You know what? That's another metaphor using a little celestial. You like celestial ray? A little quid pro quo. You help me. I help you.
Yeah,
I like that. I can do
there
that.
you go. There we go.
All right. Lead on.
Okay. Shay, you or I want to...
Walking
Or both.
already.
This place is...
I have a question
I'll keep
about
up with
the night
Shay.
path, though.
And I'll
Are
go at a
they-
pace that Heinrich can keep up with.
Are the Ninth Path a large enough organization where, like, you don't know everybody that's in it?
Certainly at this point, yeah.
Well, we saw that happen. They had like new hires when we were last here.
So I mean, are we trying to, when we find this person, are we trying to kill them? Are we trying to interrogate them? I've got Ninth Path clothing. We can probably just maybe pretend and have a civil conversation and see how
I can make myself look like anything. Actually, it's not even looking like. I can make myself something else. It's a little bit of a specialty,
Can you make someone else look like someone
Very
else?
persuasive.
I can't make someone look like someone else, but I can make you into an animal.
Well, that's not really helpful.
I mean,
wanna look
physically,
like
you're
a
literally
tabaxi?
something else.
Shay, do you think this
Tabaxi.
would be something you would do? Impersonate? And we would stand behind just in case something went wrong? You would know the most about theirs and the, your organization, your
And
people.
I think your garb out of all of ours is probably the biggest red flag to this person.
It would be. I do still have the set Morwen. We retrieved 2.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, I think I got you a pair,
Oh, yeah, so
right?
then the two of you guys can go in and just sort of like,
Hey!
hey!
Oh my god, it's Sarah from accounting!
I will say it would likely be very apparent fairly quickly if we are to actually engage in conversation that I do not agree with their ideals, but it
you
may
can
get
lie
us
about it.
closer.
I can lie about it.
Morwen can lie about it.
All right.
That could be very persuasive. Also, they have a way.
Everybody turns to look at this 3-foot-tall blue frog. Yeah, okay, that's plan C. All right, well, tell me a little bit about this as we walk then. What are we walking into here? And so you guys begin to walk. Heinrich, you begin to catch Karanza up on everything that's, select details of what's happened in the course of your
details
adventures.
that lead towards basically painting them as bad as possible and us as trying to help as much as possible, omitting
Mistakes.
accidental murders and other things.
So omitting about 50% of the story,
Yeah.
you
yeah.
fill Karanza in on a little bit about how you guys reached Yorn to begin with. And as you approach this large kind of metal ring that will lead you to the entrance, because it is 11:58, this is where we're going to end.
Almost
for the evening.
midnight.
Yeah, look at that. So thank you guys very much for hanging out. For everybody who joined in for the first time, for those of you who have hung out for a while, it's super cool getting to play D&D and have people also kind of follow along. That's like it's very rewarding. So thank you for that. I believe we're back next week. Is everybody here next week? Session 71 coming back next week. We will step into a new portion of Yorn. But until then, please stay safe. It is still crazy out there. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.